That one. Cool.
I did. I enjoyed it. Although you answered a whole bunch of questions that will be asked tonight, but I enjoyed it.
I was actually going to end up asking you, like, I have.
Hi, everybody. We're live by accident because Peter's
so what did they do? But no, I was making tacos with Iris, so that's why I was a little late today. See, we only know how to make quesadillas, but I found tacos seasoning, and we're like, well, we gotta do tacos. And like 5 minutes ago, I sat down, and Iris looked at them and was like, "Are these what tacos are?" And I was like, "No, I'm pretty sure we just made quesadillas and we put chicken in it." So
you do what you know how to do.
And then I picked up my fork, looked at my watch, and I was like, "Oh, I'm late." So. Story, I guess. Welcome back to the Dynasty Grind, where we talk Dynasty on a weekly basis, and we're just going to keep rolling into the off-season. Today, the NFL went nuts. A lot happened, and yet I don't think a lot has happened, honestly.
A lot will happen.
For all the stuff in my timeline.
Wait,
exactly. Like Evan Ingram went to the Jaguars. That seems to actually be one of the biggest news blurbs. J.D. McKissick is staying in Washington. Like.
RB1 J.D. McKissick, baby.
Oh, you went back to what? See, the last I'd heard, he was headed to Buffalo, but he jilted them.
No.
He changed Frank Gordon real hard.
He changed his mind.
I'm so excited about that because he would have been like RB40 in Buffalo.
I need all of my passing attempts to Antonio Gibson for like the one share I have.
I'll trade you another one. I happen to have one.
Yeah, how'd you get that?
Saquon. Oh. Nice. Gentlemen, how are you tonight? The chat is not as hopping tonight. They're affected by the time change as well.
Yeah, it's a slowdown. It's okay. Take it easy. Roll a little lag. I mean, didn't we know that Russell Wilson was already going to Denver before today? That seems to be the big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he just posted the picture of him and Rihanna and his kids in... Not Rihanna.
Ciara.
Sorry, man. I spaced on that one.
Reminded me of my True Belief.
All in the Denver, the Denver team colors, and they're now it's official. Because if you have the family picture in the team colors,
just in case you were beginning to worry that workout videos weren't going to affect ETN's draft stock, a single picture of Russell Wilson's wife wearing orange and like Twitter went fucking nuts. Like, yeah, it's gonna happen. It's what we do. Giddy up, gents.
And Brady tweets out the picture of like his wife around her kids' arms, and they're all wearing Brady jerseys, like walking away sadly, like we just lost our husband and father for another year.
Somebody tweeted out that, and Russ, I immediately thought of you and myself and probably hundreds of thousands of other fathers out there, but they were like, obviously Brady spent 2 months listening to his son talk about the Minecraft world
that he's about Roblox, and he's like, nope, I'm out of here.
I was like, absolutely.
Like 20 years in the NFL and he looks great. 3 months at home with his family. He's like, I'm probably... I'm going back to that other place where people beat me up on a regular basis. That was wonderful. Yeah, that's about it. Nicholas J says Ricky Seals to the I couldn't care less. Evening, gents.
Hey, Joe.
Hey guys, I just completed a would love to hear about it. Anyway, Zach, I thought O.J. Howard to the Bills. I mean, I tell you what, why do I hear my own echoes? All that reminds me of is that everyone thinks because athleticism matters and most athletic players are the best players. Even when it matters, that's not how it works. A.J. Howard's refused to be good, so he's probably not good. Stop letting him do this to you.
Refused to be good.
The answer to that question,
I'm not going to say he doesn't have the talent. I don't want to make him feel bad, but he's refused to use it. Apparently, he's fine.
O.J. Howard is going to give Dawson Knox apologists an excuse when he doesn't have 8 touchdowns.
Exactly. Yeah, that's
Like-
a big, and really both are just fine.
They're good. They're fine.
and
They're,
that's
but
it.
they're in that
They're
big
fine.
gross tier of tight ends.
Mhm.
Knox
I
is
would be
probably
excited
like,
if
like the
OJ Howard
grossest
became
part of the
something.
tier.
yeah.
No,
Like, I want OJ Howard
I
to be
don't
good.
remember it.
Yeah,
I wanted him to be good,
I
and
miss
then
so-
he wasn't, and
so
I
hard
remember
on
that.
OJ
Like
Howard.
people skip over that second part. Like, no, I'm sure it's just about to happen. Someone told me 5 years ago. Like, maybe we can hope for the Gary Barnage career arc, I guess. Thriston.
No, because he has to actually be a blocking
No,
back,
because-
for a blocking tight end for like 5 years first.
Shoot.
OJ Howard don't block.
Shoot, that's true. He's not going to make it. I think it wasn't I mean, if Tom Brady said he was going to make him a thing, then didn't make him a thing. So, like, maybe if Tom can't do it. I think it wasn't official until Shelby Harris found unlocked.
Tristan, that's a common
yeah, it wasn't
misconception.
official,
It wasn't official until the family photo.
Yeah,
Like, I don't make the rules. I
little
don't
known fact. Little known fact.
Little number. Until Twitter goes nuts, it's not real. That's the rule. Caesar, what is Kelsey's current value in Superflex? Too low. Kelsey for the 110. Yeah, I would easily do
take
that
Kelsey.
in the right
Yeah,
situation.
Yeah, wait, hold on. I have the analyzer open.
That's a weird thing with like young up and coming tight ends. They become worth a first, but these tight ends who we're hoping they all become are never worth barely a first from like half your league. So yeah,
I
would
forgot
do
to click tight ends premium, and he's worth the 106 already.
Yeah. I was gonna say he's probably in a super flex like the 105 for me. Like outside of the 4 guys that I want to trade for, I'd trade that.
Here's the thing,
104.
Susie, you gotta know
Yeah.
that pick has more value than Kelsey, and whoever you pick with that pick probably has more value than Kelsey, but Kelsey's got all the points. That's
I don't even know
Unless
if
you
they
choose
I think once you pick
a
them, they
tight end.
have less value than Kelsey.
Pick always has more
There's-
value than the player, especially
Yeah.
at that weird spot.
It's
Because once you pick
it's
the
that
player,
thing.
they're
There are
scoring less
more
points than Kelsey
there are
by a
more
lot.
potential outcomes whether whoever you select has better value this time next year, or at least
Right.
same. Like he just has to not be Terrence Marshall, which is actually pretty easy. Like Rondell Moore is kind of a question mark. But well, who would no Kelsey would be Kelsey last year.
Kelsey would be Kelsey
I
last
don't
year.
have a great
Back.
example. Yeah, that's the thing. There's like 2, and we keep pontificating who's going to be the third.
Yeah.
There's just never a third. You have 2 sometimes, and we keep like one of them are immediately worth a first, and then Kelsey is worth a first, and they're like, meh,
He's old.
maybe. Yeah. Like the guy who might be Kelsey only worth a first, but Kelsey, tight ends operate in a weird value market. I just got to say, and putting that in Superflex at 110 is why it's particularly interesting. Like in a 1 QB, it's kind of pushing it because that's where you are. You are taking the J. Whitesides, you are taking the Terrence Marshalls, but in a Superflex that pushes it down a few spots, so that makes it more interesting to me. Move Jordan Love to a
Total win.
today.
Good for you getting a second for Jordan Love at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know, but 10 team really kind of neuters Super a bit. You know what I mean?
A little bit, yeah.
So I love this. Getting anything
Yeah.
for Love in a
Yeah.
10 team, even Superflex.
Wow, what a
like,
deep statement. Getting anything for Love.
fuck my life. Tony, Dynasty, my favorite Dynasty YouTube show. Hey, appreciate that. Guess where Watson goes? I don't. Sometimes I play along, but I don't.
I was
don't
very
know.
interested in, I don't know, like the tweet from Diana Rossini, I think her name was, at ESPN, where she said the team only allowed Watson to visit if they approved the trade package first. And he went to 3, he scheduled visits with 3 teams.
Yeah, and he actually, so 2 of the 3, so I think the Saints and the Browns met him in Houston, and then he went to Atlanta.
Is he from there? Something that maybe?
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole big thing where like his, I'm pretty sure it was, I think it was work done, but like his, like like he had a house from an NFL player because he was poor and he grew up there, and all of this.
Yeah, okay.
There's a whole big backstory.
Yeah, I know.
But
I mean,
yeah,
that makes sense why he would go there at least. But if they just made like a really weird extension for Matt Ryan.
Yes, but there's an out there. There is an out with that.
Like, you think that was a just in case they don't pick me kind of thing?
Yeah, I think that there was and I've read a little bit about this, but there is a way that they can get out of that and make it more feasible to trade him if they end up in a trade. There are pieces that can move there, which I don't profess to be a salary cap guru, because I think there are only about 3 of those people in the world, and only one of them is a GM. And so I think people are just kind of flying by the seat of their pants. But I did read
every time
something.
I think about studying it, I just look at the Saints again, and I'm like, oh no, this is pointless.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and it's
weird how a billionaire can just come up with more money, but they can.
But
and
they
sometimes
also,
they can't.
They borrow against the future and bet that the salary cap goes up in the future, and that mitigates the prep. So, you do the signing bonus and you prorate it. But
is that in our chat, who I think is one of the people, and he said basically it's a lot easier to borrow against the future than everyone thinks, but there is a comeuppance at some point.
Yeah,
I'm still waiting for someone to get the comeuppance, to be honest.
So the Patriots did. The Patriots did in 2020 when Brady left and they paid him $13.5 million to play for the Bucs, and they paid Antonio Brown $7.5 million to play for the Bucs, and they were terrible for uber bad.
It's not that like was the team was constructed a lot different, or they had to let go everyone who wasn't Tom Brady. You know what I mean? The comeuppance.
I mean, they did, but
that's the thing.
What
I'm saying is the effect is less than you think.
But they had set it up so there was 1 year that they were going to be in complete cap purgatory, but they knew that they were going to be bad, and they knew that they were going to end up with a high-ish pick. I think they were better than they thought they were going to be, which was not good. But
all I know is that the Jaguars are crazy. That's all I know about the cap. I think someone let their kid run around with their wallet. Like I think happened. They were like, catch Johnny. He keeps buying DJ Chark. Stop him. And
he's got the Amazon
now.
He's got the Amazon password again.
He's got the credit card.
Bidding on eBay. Oh, crap.
Alexa, find a wide receiver
more than a
3.
One-click. There shouldn't have been a one-click process.
I think
but as far as where Watson actually goes,
3.
I honestly don't know. I mean, I think he elevates wherever he goes. Unfortunately, I do think he's going to play. Russ is a little more gun shy on that. I just probably eventually he's going to play.
Yeah, he'll play eventually, I'm sure.
It's like guessing the draft. Some people are uniquely skilled at it. You can work to get a lot better at it, and they can show you how. But then the rest of us get to know on draft day. Like I don't find the reason to put in the effort to get good at it. So I just stay bad at it. I don't know. And I guess same team. I guess he's going back to Houston. There you go. That'll be the shock. Jaws was really hoping for a different destination for OJ. Yeah. OJ Howard, I'm guessing. Sorry.
Different destination for OJ Simpson also, just saying. Got a cat looking to offload wide receiver, pay $208 for Bateman, yes.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
And 2 late seconds for Amon-Ra St. Brown. Yes, both. Do both of those
if you can.
Yeah.
Those are both very, very cheap.
I think that
second round picks.
It was Chark that went to Detroit.
Correct.
That was great for Amon-Ra St. Brown, because Chark is a field stretcher who's not very good. And
he had one season where he was great.
That's fine. Fine, but he's not.
And
not
that probably some less likely
to do it again.
To do other stuff. Yeah.
He could do it again.
He could, but he's not going to drive.
He could have the worst top 24 season in the history of the NFL again. I can't wait.
That was so good for Amon-Ra St. Brown, and anybody who thinks Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to be really good again, because
There's literally no.
That's
overlap.
That's one bullet he dodged.
Yeah, that was you're absolutely
yeah.
correct.
And speaking of what Zach was talking about last episode about getting locked in your leagues, like able to let me pay like twice this for either wide receiver for a couple of months now, and none of them will do it. So giddy up. These trades look like walk-off wins to us, but you got to adjust your league. If they're also not going to adjust their value if they do well, I mean, there might be some of that in there, but they look like walk-off wins to me. Like break my finger saying yes kind of trades. Wanted him to be the guy. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you're not beating up Cameron
want
Brate,
to crush people.
Yeah.
The guys usually just are the guys. They don't. He's not the guy. He's not the guy, and there's no place where he would be the guy because he's not the guy. That's what we have learned, and we learned years ago. I'm sorry. I wanted him to happen too. Like, yeah, I mean, he could score fantasy points as valuable, and he's not the guy.
He's not.
In all likelihood. To be fair, cut to me a year later where OJ Howard's dominating with 14 touchdowns. But I mean, it's just all likelihood, just trust what players tell you they are with their usage. Not that it's their fault or they're not good players or good NFL players. It's just what normally happens. Also, how do you guys feel about the total shrinkage of good running back landing spots for this class?
Talking about
it's
that
an interesting
for
point. Yeah.
I mean,
I think the best. We're in an old RB year.
I mean, this is what we were talking about. Where
landing spots look sleek because we've got good players in good spots, and we know we're going to do well. But we don't like buying 26-year-olds, and that's. Sorry, Karen.
No, you're exactly right. We're in that. This is the 2017 class come to roost because there was such a good class there, and there was such a good class in 2018. And so we're still at a point where those guys are good running backs for the NFL, and they're actually good running backs if you want to score fantasy points. But if you're looking to the future of your fantasy team, it's not great. Plus, I think this is a down class. I know there are a whole bunch of people saying, oh, it's deep and oh, it's great. But there aren't that many good players. And if you're looking at a dynasty league where you're in a 12-team league that starts 9 players, that's 100 guys, right? Maybe a little more. Okay, so
disagreeing with Anthony Amico live on the stream.
Absolutely. I yelled at that, and I love Anthony, and he's probably the way he plays is different than I do. And he talked about the floor plays, and there are going to be some guys that are pretty good, but in terms of my grades of these players, this class is super pedestrian. Like there just is not that. It's Breece Hall that's the high level guy, and then you're hoping for landing spots where guys catch the ball.
What I took from what he was trying to say, I think there's going to be reasonable players, like some of the most interesting running backs for this class are going to come a little deeper, a little cheaper because they're useful running backs later, and there is not so much at the top. But yeah, I was a little shocked by him saying that.
What's
but,
9?
Amika knows what he's talking about.
Teams that I could see drafting a running back with decent capital.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go through what I just went through. I mean, let's go through all the teams. Bengals, no, they have Mixon. Ravens, no. Dobbins. Bills, they could. I don't think they should.
But they won't with decent capital. And even if they do, their best running back is Josh Allen. So, okay, that mitigates your fantasy production.
Browns, no. Broncos, no. Texans, yes. Colts, no. Jaguars, probably not.
No, they just spent a first-round pick last year.
Yeah, but he's not an every down back. They probably wanted James Robinson there, but let's just keep going. The Chiefs won't. Chargers, no. Dolphins, I mean, they still could. They don't have anyone great.
No, but they just signed 2 running backs. It's not they just signed Mostert today and
2 guys that
Chase Edmonds. I mean, it's not like they're not putting together a backfield.
Those 2 guys with Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, but I don't think you're going to do that. I mean, they still. I don't think that you spend that.
You're trying to think intelligently.
Fine, if they do, great, but it's still not a. He's not going to catch passes there.
Yeah, Patriots, no. I mean, I want to say no to the Jets, but everyone else is saying yes to the Jets, so I'm just going to say it anyway. To just Raiders, no.
Well,
Titans,
the other part of that is
Good.
how much does landing spot weigh in for you at running back? I mean,
that's a lot, right?
ETN, where we think could rise in value right now. James Robinson made the Jaguars work. Barkley's been working purely on the Giants. I think that's often forgotten. I mean, Carolina was a terrible landing spot for Christian McCaffrey when he turned up. Alvin Kamara to the Saints is said to be why he succeeded, which is a complete lie. So, I mean, landing spot's difficult to read as it is.
They weren't terrible. So here's the thing I'll argue with you, Peter. It's not a terrible landing spot if they have a path to be the running back one. Like, I don't care how bad the team is. If you're getting touches, that's a good landing
That's
spot.
all that matters.
I'm just saying, I'm old enough to remember Bishop Sankey. I remember that. And I think it's underrated.
Bad. That was his fault.
Hey, ESPN themselves told me he was like basically a guaranteed hit. And then Derrick Henry took 4 years. Derrick Henry took 4 years to break out on that.
They made Derrick Henry
great landing spot where there was a path to be the running back one. You know,
they had DeMarco Murray coming off a 2,000 yard season.
I mean, I can still see the Cardinals drafting someone with just Connor and Eno Benjamin.
Yeah, probably a pass catcher though.
Yeah, Falcons.
Maybe. Yep.
I mean, Bears could if they don't think Khalil Herbert's the guy and David Montgomery's on his way out.
But I don't think that there are that many interesting players in this draft. To me, the interesting players are Hall, who should be a running back one somewhere.
And then the Seahawks and Buccaneers.
Walker, who, if he went to the Seahawks, I'm excited. If not, then okay. And then Spiller. And beyond that, it's just a lot of look. James Cook would be fun if he landed somewhere. If James Cook ended up in with the Cardinals in Arizona, I would be thrilled with that, because all of a sudden you have a player who could be Chase Edmonds in that Chase Edmonds role. That would be awesome. That would be so much fun. But you're depending on landing spot. Do you remember all of the classes? Do you remember 2019 when everyone was like, oh yeah, we're going to do this. And then you had the draft and I wrote the This Draft Stinks parody song because nobody went anywhere. And it was the same thing that Kyle and I talked about, where there aren't as many landing spots as you think there are. It's going to be, again, similar, and I hate to be the wet blanket every show.
No,
but
you're absolutely right, but I don't think the problem is lack of.
I think it's both.
Steal my moniker.
You got to get off the show.
I was given that moniker.
You got to get off the show.
Like Jake Addis.
Did you just tell me to get off the show?
No, not this show. Not this show. Not that show.
Just hey, where are we going? Where we going on this journey? Yeah. Hey, Tim. Thanks.
I just wanted to show you guys my sweet dad
question. Nice. Question from Twitter. Did you enjoy the short mini podcast version of this show from Anonymous? He said it looked like there was a lot into that on the Dynasty Crossroads feed.
Did I enjoy it?
Something about it. Yeah.
I listened to it.
Looked like someone worked real hard.
Russ looked fantastic.
Ricky, thanks for that. Felt lucky. This trade just went down in my 14-team half-point Dynasty League. It's not here. Grateful. Yeah. Lakers. Team A, Terry Saquon, 202 and a 23 first for Jerry Jeudy, St. Brown, Akers.
The other side. Saquon and Terry.
23 first and Terry and Saquon.
What equals that on the other side?
Judy, that is a lot of Akers and a lot of St. Brown love with the Jeudy, Russ bump.
And straight up disrespect of Terry and Saquon.
Yeah. That's one of those to me that. Well, it looks like to me that's one of those trades where you think you have to rebuild, and in people's mind, rebuilding means trading everybody who is older, and you don't have you are not required to trade people for less than value. Like you'll be able to get more, especially for Saquon in season. Like you don't have to do that now.
Yeah. It also just feels like Team A's players are being devalued because of what Zach about, and Team B is not when they are also devalued right now. St. Brown it just took a hit. I don't think so, but it just a hit on the market because of DJ Chark and truthers like Russ out there. And Judy right now is trading lower than I think he was disappointed in that one game in the playoff. It feels like they're down in value too, and you're the one giving up, or Team A is the one giving up a first for it. So, like, yeah, I like the idea of Tyler kind of Akers as well, but this doesn't seem like it for me. I would rework a different trade for one of them, maybe, if I was Team A. Getting anything for love is a great fantasy team name.
I like it. I feel like I want to do like. I would give anything for love, but I won't give that. And it doesn't matter what that is.
Like 2 years ago, that would have been great.
101 for Damian Harris and Tim Patrick and the 105.
Nope.
I'm hoping that's Tim Patrick and the 105.
The answer, okay,
no, dude,
no. Those are two things you don't want to move back 4 spots.
Would you drop significantly below the hit rate threshold in the first round for 2 picks? You should say no, and that's what we're doing. I love Tim Patrick, don't get me wrong, but like I'm not. No.
Yeah, Tim Patrick is the guy that you offer a third for, and
Pollard does not change anything.
Yeah. See, this is when people are going to get out of Terrence Marshall and stuff. They won't trade him for a third. They put something with him and they try and get your first, or they try and get your Devontae Smith. Don't let people off the hook this way, right? Just throwing that out there. Team B or Pollard doesn't affect it. What's up, boy? It's a show once. Oh, I appreciate that, Frank. Since I found out a couple of months ago, just traded Kamara and Waller for Renfro. Kind of first, okay. Projecting it around the 12th. Don't project the pick, but
I like that though. I mean, that like the way he laid it out kind of works. I could see Renfro and Fant for Waller,
Kamara.
And then Ayuk in a first for Kamara. Like,
yeah,
laying it out like that actually seems perfectly fine.
And this is one that I would cascade, because then I would be trying to trade Ayuk for something else. Like, and that's just how I would play this. But if you're an Ayuk guy, that's fine. Be happy with your team. But if it were me, this is when I start thinking about Russ talking about cascading trades, and that this trade isn't the last trade; it's the one before the next trade. And
I would take Ayuk in the first and go get a younger, more like I lost in the Outhouse Challenge. I lost Jalen Waddle to Ayuk in a first. Go send that for Waddle.
Yep.
I'm still bitter about that. Peter, you got to pick another question. Is Peter frozen or is he reading?
I don't know.
He's totally frozen.
He's frozen. John Bosch. Wow, Goodwin got some Christian Kirk money. Or Godwin. Sorry, not Goodwin.
Wait, did Godwin sign a contract? Is that what he's saying?
He must have.
Good for him. I mean, we always kind of thought that was going to happen. Like, we didn't think Godwin was playing on the tag or anything. No. Elijah Mitchell for a late 23 first and Ayuk?
I would take the first and Ayuk.
I think the question is... Okay. I think the question is, man, like, would you... like, a Mitchell for a first is, like, what you... Like, the question, right? How does and Ayuk come in there?
Yeah,
Thomas Pritchard. I don't know what's going on there, man.
Well, but again, this is the conversation that we had probably 4 or 5 weeks ago about Mitchell. Is there going to be people who are really excited about Elijah Mitchell because he right now is in the catbird seat in San Francisco? Like,
it's funny. I love bringing up Elijah Mitchell on almost any show I'm on because I'm usually the lowest guy on him, and I did it today. With Addison on the DLF trade show. He's much more of a Mitchell guy than I am. And we had 2 or 3 trades involving him, and it was good. You guys should go listen. Watch it tomorrow. Rebuild Tim Shady, rebuild 12 team super, like, man, like I'm reading Peter's questions and I'm losing the ability to read. It's like,
3 years, 60 million with 40 guaranteed for Godwin,
good for him,
which is
man.
nice.
Yeah. Rebuild 12-team Superflex sending Ayuk. A lot of us Ayuk sending away Ayuk and Bateman for CD Lamb. I like that.
Yeah, I'd rather have CD. I know that there are going to be a lot of people who are on the side of the younger players because CD Lamb is old, but CD Lamb is really good. I know there was about 3 weeks ago a real push, especially in the analytics community, to knock CD Lamb out of like the top 4 or 5 wide receivers, which is fine.
6.
Yeah, which is fine, but he's still a top 10 wide receiver, and he's still very good, and I still want to have him rostered. Whether you believe he's a top 3 or not, that's fine. Like we can. There's some room to negotiate because to me, there's a pretty good tier of really good wide receivers up at the top. So
Lamb is still technically younger than Ayuk. Just
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like everyone thinks that he's old because he's played 2 years, but he's not.
He's 22.8.
Yeah, and Ayuk went JUCO too. Like people,
yes.
Again, people don't necessarily think about all that, especially now that they're out of college and in the NFL, and he's only played for 2 years. And one of them, he was really good when Debo got hurt, in his rookie year. So
another one. No, this is Tony 187. Super.
Unless it's Tanya. No, Tanya.
Tanya.
Yeah. No.
I'm trying to be Peter. I'm telling you.
It's got to be Tony.
Tonya. Superflex. I have the 110 and traded for the 203 today for a late 23 second. I traded for the 203 today for a late 23 second. Who are you targeting late first or early second this year? I mean, that's going to be super rough depending on your draft, right? But I mean, there's the more I listen to frickin' the dummies, hootenannies, the more wide receivers I fall in love with. I mean, at the 203, I don't care who's there. I'll take Justin Ross just to make sure I get him.
Yeah.
At the 110, I mean, we're at the level of Pickens. I mean, maybe in a super flex league, someone like Jameson Williams falls down to that.
Yeah, I mean, and Superflex too. Depending on how many quarterbacks go, there may be a value quarterback. Look, if Sam Howell goes somewhere in the first round, I'm still interested in him. I think he's a very good quarterback.
If he goes in the second round, I'm in. I'm good with him.
But I'm in more in the second round of a draft because
yeah. If he goes in the second round of the NFL draft, I will try and grab him at the beginning of the second round of rookie drafts.
Yeah, well, because I think there's enough. He gives you enough with his legs, and he was a very good thrower. The 2 years he had NFL caliber wide receivers.
Yep.
This past year, it was a little different story. He's got a little bit of stuff to clean up with his footwork. He's got a little bit of stuff to clean up with closing his front shoulder when he rolls to his right. But like there are enough pieces with Sam Howell that I think if you put him in a situation where you let him, grow and mature and be a quarterback, I think he can be an NFL level quarterback. So yeah, those guys. The other one that I would mention is Brian Robinson, who's not getting a lot of love right now, but he is that next running back beyond the top few to me. Hey, Peter, how's it going?
I didn't know if you could see me yet, so
we can
a little bit.
And like Brian Robinson is that next running back to me that could end up having fantasy relevance in the right situation. Again, Seattle takes him if somebody takes him that wants to run the ball. He's not bad, and he can catch all right. He would be a Chris Carson replacement.
What do you think of Tyler Batty?
He was weird. It was he had a 1,600-yard season, but it was so hollow.
Yeah.
Really? But he's a great receiver. And so I think the NFL will make him a pass catching back, and I like that. And I like that he has the ability to carry. I mean, like he's a tremendous satellite back. He is exactly what you want. But
what do you mean by hollow?
I don't. It was strange watching him. He does not create well for a small back that you expect to really create. And so it was an odd watch when you look at players, because he's what 5'8", 190 something. When you look at a player when you look at a player that size, you expect them to be, especially with a 1,600-yard season, you expect them to be creating with quickness and juking players behind the line of scrimmage and getting out into space. And he just didn't do that. He gets, like, if there's a hole, if something is blocked for him, he's good, and he's good beyond like 3 yards. So like once he gets to the second level, he's really good. But he does not create behind the line of scrimmage at all, which was a weird thing, especially, again, for a smaller back. I think
I find him, because he did stuff. He did pretty interesting stuff. Never really hear anything about him, and that makes...
Well, we talked about him on the Catch-All show.
Yeah.
So like the last show we released.
Yeah, but I don't listen to yours.
Well, that's fine. You don't have to. But yeah, like he's more of a space.
Goddamn comment was hiding my smug smile there. But yeah,
he's more of a space back. I think in the NFL, I think we'll see him as more of a space back. So,
all right, Russ, keep it going. Because I might disappear at any moment, apparently. I'm still trying to figure out why that happened.
I say Fantasy Condor when I see this guy's name, and that just sounds so cool. But Fantasy Condo, I just traded Mac Jones, CEH, the Village Bicycle, Brandon Ayuk, 105 and a 23 seconds, for JT and DJ Moore. 10-team Superflex, half PPR. So Mac Jones, CEH, Ayuk, the 105 and a 23 second, you crushed it.
I want JT.
I would
more.
easily throw in a 10-team Superflex. I would so easily throw all that away just for Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah,
you got DJ Moore also.
Yeah, that's a good win. Fantasy Condo. It's like Fantasy Mansion, but with maintenance fees.
You've thrown him a lot of really nice quarters, maybe 150-cent piece, and got a couple dollars back. I like that.
I wanted to, Zach, I want to let you know I did appreciate that, even though I didn't, fly around laughing. I greatly appreciated it. I love these people that just like, hey, I got a trade, and then disappear.
Well, I think if you hit,
I know exactly what they're going through. I'm trying
enter, and you want to return and not enter.
You're just so used to tapping enter, and yeah, we'll catch you next time. Catch you next comment down,
dude. I'm scrolling. He did not. He did not go back. He did not come back.
Oh, okay.
I hope he's okay. Somebody check on Frank C.
Frank. I think he's probably just, when that happens to you, it can really affect you.
He's embarrassed.
Player Chris Godwin reached agreement for a 3-year, $60 million deal guaranteed at signing.
Good
sources tell ESPN.
That's a really good contract.
Good for sources.
Yeah.
Good for sources.
Yeah, Godwin and Evans, right? That's a window.
Yeah. Russell Gage, baby.
Yeah.
Okay.
My Tyler Johnson shares.
I think it's pretty good windows. Pretty bad. Yep. Caesar currently have Mahomes, Stafford, Jimmy G, and Rodgers. Let's say Aaron Rodgers in a 12-team Superflex. Rodgers for the 110 to that's not enough.
I would not.
Rodgers for one third pick, a late first-round pick, and a second and a third. No.
So I'm me, and I do a lot of stupid things. When it comes to
trades. In fact, I've got some proof on that. Yeah.
Though a lot of people do think I'm you, so I don't know. So I send trades out, and I send so many. It's not like I remember what I send out. So like 3 or 4 days ago, I sent out Aaron Rodgers for the 106 because I had no idea what I'm doing with my Trade Addicts 1 team. It's a perennial playoff, but not a championship team. So I'm like, you know what? I don't know. Let me just see what the hell's going to happen if I could blow this up a little bit. And then it was before we knew he was playing. We knew he was coming back anywhere. So I'm like, let me just get out of this obnoxiousness that I don't think will end anytime soon. And then he signs, and I get an email. Trade accepted. Wait, what? I sent out a trade? Oh, crap. So, yeah, I sent Aaron Rodgers for the 106 and didn't really feel super... Like, in my head, that's not bad. It's not bad. You don't feel good about it, but it's not bad.
I would rather have the 106 than I would the 110, the 206, and the 22 third.
That's kind of what I was getting at. That's also kind of what I was getting at. Like, if I now have the
what other quarterback would you trade for a single late first?
Well, and so Caesar, I think the thing that you need to remember is the value of your players is not dictated by the players you have on your team. So just because you have Mahomes, Stafford, and Garoppolo doesn't
that's what this feels
Rodgers
like to me.
Is undervalued. So
say it louder for the people in the back of the
yeah. Make sure that you're getting value back for Aaron Rodgers.
Put it in a video.
You are going to trade him. Yeah, absolutely.
You don't even need him. He's your fourth quarterback. Yeah, but you'll need him. He'll be your first.
And he might end up being your second. I mean, like Rodgers is not bad.
Rodgers is he's going to produce as the top 5 QBs. So I mean, treat him like it.
Could counter offering him Jimmy G for that package. I guess I feel completely ripped off at that, but
well, wait till Garoppolo gets traded and then do that. Absolutely.
Dem Colts.
All that. If it's going to not happen, COVID, Colin David, sorry, disease, virus, whatever. Which side do you prefer? Superflex, JT Cousins, pick 210, Eckler 23 first. JT side, right?
Yeah, for me it is. It's
honestly.
I've decided I'm going to try and do my best and throw my personal bias away when evaluating Watson trades because I'm still at the point where I pick the other side regardless.
It's probably the Watson side. Like, and again, like I can compartmentalize. Like I'm good at that. That's one of my features. I can be rational. It's probably the Watson side because I think you're getting a top 5 quarterback. I think you're getting, at least for next year, a top 10 running back, and you're getting a 23 first. I think it's that side.
I honestly, the real answer is
what's the bigger difference maker though? A top 5 running back or a top 5 quarterback?
Well, here's the thing:
Watson over Cousins is the answer because JT is not actually that much of a difference between him and Eckler.
But in a startup draft, who's going to go first, Watson or JT?
I mean, fine. Well, probably JT. That's fine.
No, I'm legitimately asking if we find out Watson's playing this year, even if it's a 6-game suspension. Watson's going to go first.
You think so?
Easily. Not first overall, but just before Jonathan Taylor. Yeah. In a super flex draft, yeah.
I mean
Watson's going to walk into a top 6 quarterback.
Yeah. I guess. Because right now, according to DLF, Mahomes, Allen, Herbert, Burrow's
going to be the one dropping out of the 6.
Yeah. I can't believe he's QB4. And then Lamar Jackson.
And
then it's Jonathan Taylor. So, yeah. So, it's like basically even Jonathan Taylor and...
So, if it's even, give me the quarterback. I'll take Eckler over Cousins. I just like Eckler that much, even though that might not be the right move. And then clearly the 23 first over the 2.
And so that's where I'm at. Like, I think even though JT is the best position player in this trade, Watson is the best player. Again, assuming that he lands somewhere and doesn't, incur a suspension, blah, 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 blah. Like, I think that's the way that trade falls for me.
Yeah.
I hate it. I'm still like, I know that you took a lot of flack for bringing like morality and personal feelings and things into fantasy football. But like, for me, I have to enjoy, I'm not trying to make $1 million playing fantasy football. I want to enjoy my team, and it's hard for me to enjoy Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. I mean, that's really what it comes down to.
Peter, this next question is not for you.
It's basically a top 5 quarterback, top 10 running back versus a top 10 quarterback and a top 5 running back. Yeah, the difference there probably does lean towards the quarterback. Yeah.
Question for like it any more than you do. Yeah, this is not for you, Peter. Don't answer this.
Oh, good on you, Nicholas, bringing him back. James Conner, baby. Let's talk about him.
I'm keeping him. Like, yeah, hang on to him. You're not going to get anything for him, so you might as well keep him.
And he scores touchdowns. I love Christian Kirk in Jacksonville. I'm not going to lie. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of what they need, where he can stretch the field a little bit. I actually like him better out of the slot, like I always have, but he has the ability to kind of do both things, which he should be an upgrade for over everything that they have.
I'm hoping they move him around the entire time. Like you get.
I know there are a lot of. I know you're on with a cash, and he is a huge Laviska Shenault guy, but Kirk is an upgrade from Laviska Shenault.
Anything they've had, he's an upgrade on.
Yeah. All right, Peter, come back.
Yeah, what's the trade?
Just
throwing it out there, but I mean, are you saying sell either for like a ham sandwich? No, probably not.
I'm not even sure you could get a ham sandwich for James Conner.
Christian Kirk for the 101, baby. No less.
Then yes. Thomas Pritchard, Jonathan Taylor, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, and Kyle Pitts. I agree.
Yes.
Oh, wait,
Do we know what we're talking about?
Elijah Mitchell for a late 23 first.
No, there was a 4 in there. If you go to the next one, JT and Jefferson for Chase and Pitts. I'd rather have Taylor and Jefferson. Unless it's a well, no, I'd rather have Chase and Jefferson.
I'd rather have Chase and Jefferson. It's not particularly close.
That's not the
John Bosch can't hear me, right?
Oh, I'd rather have Taylor and Jefferson. Sorry.
John Bosch.
I'm going to go Chase and Pitts just to go against you two.
That's fine. 1.75. I hear you.
I have no backing. I mean, I'll say
Russ just likes having all the
either side I could get out of this.
I would rather have the running back 1 than the tight end 5. That's all. Or a running back. I'd rather have a running back than a tight end. And that's the only difference.
To be clear, all Pitts has to do at this point is catch a extra touchdown, and he's been the top 5 basically.
Yeah.
So I'm not even questioning that at this point. It's just I'd rather have the running back and a wide receiver who's going to score the same, if not better, than the other wide receiver, by the way, with less teeth.
Honestly, but those players are so good. I couldn't care which side I ended up with.
I get it. I just, I can get Kelsey a lot cheaper than fine. BJ Bruce, I'm selling Juju.
I love how he called him BJ Bruce.
We don't talk to BJ Bruce anymore.
BJ Lee?
No, this is like the one guy, to be fair. You have a great market. Juju's trade value is much higher than his draft value.
Why is it clear that nobody wants him? Because
he hasn't
rush out to sign? Because
his value is elevated. I think he's one of those players where everyone who has him on their roster is me or a version of me.
But he's talking NFL. He says that the NFL doesn't want him.
Oh, no. I think that's just Ben Roethlisberger. I don't think the strong impression I got is Juju just wants to stay in Pittsburgh last year. This year, I haven't heard much about it at all. I mean, maybe he's just a different kind of cat.
I just want to see Juju end up with like the Rams or something and just eat underneath.
Oh my God, Juju stepping in the Odell role?
Yeah.
Yes.
Just eat. Yeah.
But who would eat?
I was falling asleep and that just woke me up. I'm psyched. Let's make it happen, everybody.
Yeah, let's go. Energy in the stream. I like seeing it.
I want all the Juju.
And nobody wanted him last year also. I mean,
he got offered contracts. He turned them down to stay with Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
For a worse deal, he chose.
Yes.
That's what I took away from it. But, I think you've consumed way too much content talking about how average or below Juju is, and just unfollow. Like, I'm sorry, they don't. That's stupid. I mean, that's stupid. It's people out here now trying to retcon Amari Cooper into being like an average wide receiver. Like, you don't get that. You don't get that out of most wide receivers. Just pass on that analysis. For me, Tristan, at the 102, if Hall is gone, should I go with Walker?
No.
Just end there. It doesn't matter who's on your team, Tristan. It's all about taking the best player available. And at 102, I mean,
if you want the running back, trade back. And I don't mind. I honestly don't mind Walker as your running back too. If that's what you really, if that's who you really want as your running back too. But you don't have to draft him because that's when you're on the clock.
Or trade the 102 for a running back. If you want a running back, you can find a running back that you know is good for the 102.
Or look at it this way: if you think that Burks or Wilson, whoever your wide receiver one is, isn't going to score points, then yes, you should take Walker. We don't think that, so we would take the other player. That's the way to do it. Who do you think is going to score more points? Doesn't matter about the position. That's what we're trying to say.
According to the trade analyzer, in a 1 QB league for the 102, Antonio Gibson, Saquon Barkley, Nick Chubb, and Alvin Kamara are all right next to the 102 in value.
Yeah, and I'd rather have any of them than Walker.
There you go. Me too. In fact, Brighton has a really good time to try and get Gibson's. So, well, wait. You don't have to get running backs.
No, McKissick's back.
He's already got Gibson, so
that's
he's
why
way
it's
ahead
a
of
good
us.
time. Walker is a beast. Yeah, and if he's your guy, if he's the one you think is most likely to score the most points next year, draft Walker. I don't, so I wouldn't. But it's not about what your team needs. Just to be clear. You got to make your own calls. Your damn team. You know your stuff. Make your call. But don't do it because it's what your team needs. That's all it's
right.
We can argue about the ranks as well, but I want to make that point clear. Tristan, thanks, Ricky. Joe Hub, there are fair numbers of really good athletes at running back, but not so many good running backs.
But we don't need real running backs in the NFL anymore. That's not what league we are in.
Right.
Like, that's why Nick Chubb doesn't really do anything for our fantasy teams. But
I think Joe's pointing out that if being a good athlete made you a good running back, then, they'd all be good running backs. It does.
I think Jerick McKinnon would have been the freaking best ever.
Yeah, OJ Howard would be great if you just... Well, to be fair, he's a pretty good receiver. That's the thing. That's the thing. Mike Carter. When Kamara was drafted, he was behind Mark Ingram and Adrian Peterson. If they have talent, it will come out at some point. Yes. Thank you, Mark.
I totally forgot about that Adrian Peterson.
That's a better mindset. It's not always true, but it's a better mindset to have it hits better and harder, and you find more value that way. Same with Henry being behind DeMarco Murray.
80 receptions that left that backfield that year.
Oh, shit.
80.
Shit.
Remember Pierre Thomas? He was awesome.
Don't do this.
Please don't do this.
Go away. I should be more specific. What team is left that has the void at running back to spend high draft capital on? Breece, basically. Fair question, because otherwise probably not much separates Breece. Blah, blah. I think Breece, if they all went in the same round to the same team, Breece is easily separatable out from those other two. That's the thing. Like, I don't need...
Yeah, I don't think it's very close between
I think
Hall
people
and
are really counting the combine for Walker.
How are you not counting the combine for Hall? Because he was better than Walker.
We expected it at a Hall.
No, they didn't.
Walker is phenomenal at that thing we want to be more valuable than it is. He's a great runner, and we want that to mean more than... We want that to mean more. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's all you take, guys, going out there and watching them, and your T levels rise, and you just got to believe them.
I mean, I guess, but I think so many people watch highlights. So many people watch Walker, and like he'll make a cut and put a guy on skates, and they're like, yeah, and you're like, right, but go find me a place where he caught a pass, because you can't, because he caught 13 this year,
13,
and he caught 19 in his 3 years in college, like Yes, he's a great football player. Yes, he's the best runner in this class. But Nick Chubb was the best runner in his class, and he's still a borderline running back one every year, even though he's the best runner in the NFL. Like, this is,
and he caught a lot more balls. He catches a lot more balls. He did in college. He does in the NFL. No, he does significantly.
But he has not, Peter, he has not been the guy that everyone thought he was. He hasn't been a 40, 50 catch guy, which is what you need to be that. Yeah, but
no, that's what I mean. A guy who was already established as a receiver is struggling to get enough receptions. I agree.
That's my argument. Is if you're not the best receiver in your backfield in college, chances are you're not going to go to the next level and suddenly become the best receiver in your backfield. Like, it's just.
Where would Breece Hall need to go that you would be significantly down on his prospects? If we're talking landing spot on Hall, isn't that the question? He goes to the Jaguars, and you're like,
Indianapolis.
Oh, yeah.
It used to be like, what's the landing spot you would hate, and then you'd always say Dallas behind Zeke.
It's the equivalent of that,
likely. But Zeke's not that scary anymore.
Yeah. He would need to go somewhere with Jonathan Taylor, kind of running back. Got it. Hey guys, hope everyone is having a good week. Thank you, FF Lefty. I feel the same. Yeah. And Bradley, I know the answer, but for fun, Antonio Amon-Ra St. Brown plus the 201 for Trubisky and Michael Thomas.
Ooh, that's actually closer, but I'm going to take the St. Brown in 102 though.
How was that close at all?
Michael Thomas is good.
Yeah. Why?
What value at the 102?
The value's not there, but I don't care. I want those top 12 wide receiver points for free. But this isn't free. Yeah, it's probably the 102 side.
It is easy. Yeah. Like, I wouldn't. The 102 by Amon-Ra St. Brown for Trubisky, and then Michael Thomas is closer to me.
Yeah. I just see Michael Thomas and I try and squint at it. Could I get Michael Thomas? No, not like this. Not like this. Not going out like this.
Not like these.
Ryan May. Any relation? Travis May? No? I'd take that for the first alone. Yeah. I think that would even be off balance. Jacob Johnson, Jonathan Taylor, Naheem Hines, or Dalvin Cook. I like the fact they're throwing Naheem Hines in there, to be honest with you.
Well, they're throwing backfields. Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, it's Taylor.
Yes, Taylor. CD Lamb begs the question of how long players get to produce at their dynasty ranking before their ranking needs to be pushed down.
Young, high draft capital wide receivers, as long as they're producing at all, will probably get like 3-4 years.
It's like people are going, well, he only got a 20% market share. That's literally the production that they're talking about. It's market share. It's not like he's been good.
All right. I'll say this to you, Joe. If 3 wide receivers in this class, if 3 have as good a rookie year or sophomore year or third year as CD Lamb, I will be incredibly shocked if we get 3 who come close to that. So for a start, back up. CD Lamb doesn't need to be reduced because of what he's done. He needs to be valued because of it.
Let's say this season goes, Amari Cooper's gone, and CeeDee Lamb finishes as the wide receiver 22. Are we still keeping him at the wide receiver 4 or 5?
No, but that'll be a market correction.
I think that is kind of what Joe's
question is. Because he's young and a lot of players are old. That's why he's hitting those numbers. It's because he has the value of it. He could be like DJ Moore has been doing the same thing, right? He's never quite done what we hoped.
He's somehow still younger than CeeDee Lamb.
No, he's not. Get out of here. CeeDee was pretty young when he was drafted. Let's see. DJ Moore has 3 barely top 24 seasons, and he's in the conversation in the same value range. So I'll tell you what, you give me DJ Moore for less, I'll give you CeeDee Lamb for less.
He's 10 wide receivers down.
You think really getting more, if we're doing it in first round picks, does CeeDee Lamb get an extra first round pick compared to DJ Moore?
Yeah, a much earlier one, if not an extra one.
See, you're pausing. And that's not the ADP isn't the value. That's the thing. Like, who'd you take, DJ Moore or CeeDee Lamb? You take CeeDee Lamb because he's got a couple years. It's not like you're making a big statement about your expectation that he's going to outperform. Like CeeDee Lamb's been wide receiver 22 and wide receiver 18. By this point in his career, DJ Moore had been wide receiver 36 and wide receiver 16. Like CeeDee Lamb's done better. Since then, DJ Moore's been 24 and 17 overall. Like
I put CeeDee Lamb for DJ Moore in the trade analyzer. The suggested pick to match to bridge the gap is the 110.
Yeah, I would rather have CeeDee Lamb.
Even in the value, it's pretty close. Just because you get a couple extra years of top 24 wide receiver production. He's been good. I don't understand. I get there's a difficult value to pay for. It's not like I'm going out and paying that for CeeDee Lamb very much. But, I mean, everyone was happy to do it for Mike Evans, where he was producing similar levels of points per game finish. And everyone's like, but he could be top 5, but was just once. And we did that for many more years. And everyone was like, but the floor. But for some reason, CeeDee Lamb's floor doesn't count. Like, sorry, if it works for one, it works for the other.
DJ Moore's been in this league for like 8 years. How is he 24 years old?
I don't know. I think he's got a time machine. I'm actually pretty sure on that one. The Adam
ridiculous.
Project, DJ Moore Project, more like
the DJ Moore Project.
His,
watched that movie.
His mother's maiden name was Button. That's all. He's working backwards.
That's fair. No, I think CeeDee Lamb is both overvalued and underappreciated at the same time. It's just this weird crux of value. It's frankly Amari Cooper. It's DJ Moore like. I don't think he's more than a top 24 wide receiver, but that's great. Like, I'm happy with that. That's better than most first round picks will ever do for us, not for the NFL or whatever. Emma Corpse Ortiz. Yeah, that I was like, that's not
Ortiz sounds a lot better.
Very normal word. Ortiz, thank you. Traded the 108 and the 23 second for Brady and Hollywood. What do you guys think? Love it.
Assuming that's super flex, I'm good with that. I mean, that's going to help you.
Hollywood for a first and Brady for a second to take a role on the last year of the roller coaster, presumably. The last year on the roller coaster, sure. Kittle for Zeke, Fant, Fournette, 10 team, 1.5 tight end premium.
I think I would just take Kittle.
I think I would just take Kittle. Zeke
team,
makes it interesting.
In a 10 team, I don't really want to start Fant. And
that's the thing, but Zeke could be interesting. Yeah, it's Kittle, but
yeah. I mean, let's face it. Zeke's value is destroyed, and he'll probably score as a top 12-ish running back. But Kittle is still that guy at tight end, and I'm not even really caring too much about the premium because 0.5 isn't that much. To me, this is pretty easily Kittle in a 10-team league.
I didn't even consider the premium. No, yeah, Kittle's the stud.
10-team league, a 3-for-1 is going to be the one most of the times.
Yeah, it's your difference maker.
All right. 12-team Superflex. I love the abbreviations and how they're different for different people, by the way. Is Derek Carr worth buying for a 23 first? A single one?
I don't think so as your QB3. I don't always carry 3 quarterbacks.
I don't usually have one.
I don't always carry 2 quarterbacks. Like that's
when you have RB1 JD McKissick, you don't need the second quarterback.
My dirty little secret is like I don't necessarily always carry 2 quarterbacks in the Superflex league because a lot of the back end quarterbacks, especially if everybody else is rostering 3, aren't going to give you any more than what you'd get from a good week out of a wide receiver. So
I think Derek Carr's worth a first. I think you have no need to pay it. If you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, you let someone who had an injury go pay a first for Derek Carr. You don't spend a 23 first for a backup. It's just that's too valuable.
Could he get? Thinking about it in terms of value, though, like August comes around, could he buy the running back he wants to be a difference maker with Derek Carr, the starting quarterback? No? Okay. No. Yes, there's a weird thing with quarterbacks where they're rare and their value is high, but trading them for something is difficult.
Well, you need, for a guy like Derek Carr, you need to find a very specific situation to be able to trade him away. That's
Whereas
the
the
real
pick,
problem.
yeah, this time in August, it's probably easier to trade that pick for Saquon
Oh,
than it is to trade Carr for Saquon. Yeah.
especially a 23 first. Like the cachet of a 23 first is right now big because everybody is
Yeah.
talking. As much as everybody is hyping up the
Yeah.
22 class, they're still at a point where the 23 class is better.
It's interesting because our answer is you don't have needs right now. You don't need to buy a running back, and instead we're like, you don't need to fill that non-need that you don't have.
Yeah.
That's what this trade is. I like that you're thinking and out there making offers. But Aaron, do you think Burks is going to turn into a value?
Absolutely.
Yes, as the
He already
Twitter
is.
echo
He already
chamber.
is turning into. People are already telling you that he hasn't broken away from the pack and that he's dropping and dropping and dropping, and that his athleticism is just mediocre. And there are going to be people who are bigger into athleticism than we are, who have bigger platforms and louder voices that will shout about that. And Burks will be a value, and I'll be very excited.
Market trends are fun and useful until the market's all running over the same cliff. Sometimes
Yep.
you just got to look up. And I know, who do you think Burks is in the league? Not a player comparison, but what do you think? Expect for him in fantasy?
So it depends on how he gets used, Peter, and that's the one thing that concerns me because he really is a big slot. He really is closer to what AJ Brown does than he is, because people look at him and they see big, strong, and they want him to be DK Metcalf, and he's not. He's not that go down the field guy. The pieces of his game that I don't like and that I have questions about are that in route speed. But if you can let him work close to the line of scrimmage, if you can let him work underneath, if you can let him work against zone coverage,
it's interesting though, because that's a similar comparison from my memory of what you thought Harry could be used as.
No, because Harry was used down the field, and Harry was good at going down the field, but he didn't create separation down the field. So he was using physicality to go up and separate. This is my concern with London. Is the way they're looking at using it, and this would be my concern if Burks goes somewhere and they push him to the outside and make him be a downfield receiver. Yeah, that's bad. But if a team uses him the way he has been used and the way he has been successful, man, he is so good with the ball in his hand. And working in that short to intermediate space where he has worked his entire career. But the NFL is dumb sometimes.
I love this stuff, but I know when I'm peering my own navel, and that's what I would be doing. I think the field, the market, everyone is overvaluing how likely they are to be right on whether a player is going to hit or not. And the fact is that because we don't know really what works, we really don't. There is a lot of worlds where Burks doesn't work out. For a start, you should know there is significant risk in a wide receiver, drafted in the first round or whatever.
Yep.
Like, he can miss. But I think they're overvaluing his likelihood, their certainty in his likelihood to miss. So especially if we're getting them a little bit cheaper, I still think he's a decent first round shot as long as he gets decent draft capital.
Well, and I think that everybody
That's
now is they're overvaluing that 40 time. Like that's literally the only thing that dropped Burks is the fact that he ran twice in Indy and he was not a 4.4 guy. He was a 4, whatever he was, 4.5 or 4.5.5.
This is class, though. If you're looking for the fast guy in this class, I think you're looking for. That's not the skill set. That's not what the best players in this class do. I don't hate him maybe as much as you do, but I get
him at wide receiver 5, Peter. Like I don't.
That's the thing, though. That means I have him down there, wide receiver 5 or so, and I've been told forever that means I'm low on him. That's the thing. They want him to be the best because if he hits,
he's not.
He's that type of player they're looking for. That's the thing, though. He's not as good as what he does as what the slower guys are at what they do.
And again,
and that's the thing. That's not this class.
That's the trap. So I was listening to you and Anthony Amico, and Anthony Amico's model spit out all of these names in conjunction with Drake London. I'm like, none of them win the way Drake London does. None of them. because nobody in the NFL except for Mike Evans wins the way Drake London does. So if we've got one wide receiver Mike Williams occasionally wins that way too. But if you've got two wide receivers, maybe Kenny Golladay gets healthy, and now we got three. We're working. But the chances are, and this was, I just did a show this week with the Dynasty Dummies, and I said, I think the biggest trap we're falling into right now as a community is we are looking to the past to predict the future, and which you have to do, but you also have to look at what is being successful now, because it's not what was successful 5 years ago. It's changed, Peter.
I know what you mean. Yeah, I think, like I say, the way it's coming to me, and I don't know if it makes any sense to anyone else, but we're trying to find what we want out of a player that compares well to past players instead of taking who is good at what they do. And in this class, honestly, you've made fun of me before I even got a chance to look at him. Sky Moore is exceptional at what he does. That's where the talent is in this class. It's just not the skill set that you're looking for, sure, but that's where the talent is here. You know, that's what they I don't know who they are, but we're trying to obfuscate it with words like deep and thick, and there are lots of players. And I recently got asked, was that with you guys? No, it was on the DLF trade forum. Someone's offering like their first round pick for 4 second round picks because they're buying into the concept of deep, and I just want as many. I mean, there's some value in that. It was actually a little too much to ask for that many because one of them was a 201, but we're really buying into this idea that the depth, and I don't think it's depth. I think the players that we want to be good or have the skill sets from the past who have been the Tyreek Hills or have been the Mike Evanses are just not quite as good at what they do as the players who do the stuff we don't want to search for, which frankly is David Bell. It's Sky Moore. It's I don't know about George Pickens so much. He profiles a little differently, but I mean that's where the talent is here. The talent here is DeAndre Hopkins and it's Keenan Allen. It's not fucking Calvin Johnson and it's not Tyreek Hill. That's not who's in this class. There might be a couple who can do an impersonation. And I think Drake London looks really like he could do some interesting things. He could be Mike Evans. But he's not the most talented at being Mike Evans. Mike Evans is. Whereas David Bell, I mean, he could be one really like NFL level good at doing that Keenan Allen role. He could be. Well,
and I think the thing when I hear people say this class is deep, all I can picture is Jeff Goldblum walking up to that big pile of in Jurassic Park and taking off his sunglasses. And that's what this class is deep. I'm like, yeah, sure it is. Like there are a lot of players in this class.
Yeah.
But there aren't that many good.
Aaron's question's a real simple one. The answer, I think, is yes. I think it is becoming he's a value. And it's a really interesting conversation, though, that I notice Outhouse is just like, you can put yourselves on the line with that one, guys. Thoughts? No.
I go to YouTube to learn about this stuff, so I got nothing on this one.
This just in, Rogers is good.
Yeah,
we appreciate that one.
Super behind.
we do need to be reminded of some things.
We're only half an hour behind tonight, Russ. That's not bad.
We're doing good.
Really?
Yeah. Sure. What's Brady worth for a contender? The 112 is a little steep to me. Like someone just got him for a second, basically earlier.
I know it's a tough thing to say because in season the 112 is spent already, but I would give that value like 2 weeks into the season. Doing it right now just seems a little weird.
I would still rather have Brady. I mean, look,
it's the right answer.
I'm getting a top 6 quarterback for a year, especially if you're a contender. Whatever.
Okay, so I want to make sure he makes it to the season.
Here's what you can do, Sean, and I think the middle ground here between both Russ and Zach is you can wait till you're on the clock, just in case someone falls, and I think you can get Brady for that on the clock. I think you can get him for that value in August.
That trade won't go away probably for the season.
Yeah. And if you just like, I don't want to wait, that's fine. It's your team, but split the baby. That's where I'd come out. Super Koopa. I get that reference. Asked this in the comments last night. Oh, I apologize. We missed it after the video. But in our rookie draft, we can draft free agents. Cool. Where do you take Albert O?
In a rookie draft,
late
third round,
third.
Yeah, early third.
That's still just what he's worth.
Yeah. around there.
Oh, wait, 10 team. Definitely the third. Yeah, sorry.
You're good.
Tim Shady, is Christian Kirk and Sutton a sell high now?
No,
it
you
depends on
ride
the
them to
trade, Tim.
championships, baby.
Don't listen to Rel.
Don't listen to Russ.
He's got a bias on this particular issue.
It always depends on what you get.
It depends on the trade, Tim, but
If
I
you
think
can
they're
get
really
ones for
interesting
either
to
of them, go
explore
do it.
trades with right now. And if you can get an elevated value right now, because Sutton's downfield and has the best target share of the group, then yeah, I would be interested in that.
I think if you can get
And
ones
Kirk,
for either of them,
he's
you
solid. Just don't
Did you
forget Kirk's
did you
solid.
see
He's really
Peter
solid
talking about Sutton, but he was doing sign language, Tim Patrick. So he was like this little subliminal Tim Patrick while he's talking Sutton. I saw that.
You know, I meant to notice that. And Nicholas J.
That's why he
People
puts
wanna
himself
give-
underneath the comment.
People want to give me a second for Connor, but I feel like I could get more. Nick,
You won't get more.
No.
I'm sorry.
Nick.
Yeah.
Miles Sanders. Okay. Miles Sanders was doing really well because the way the offense was running. James Conner was doing really well because he was scoring touchdowns.
Yeah.
James
And
Conner's
while
a solid
in the-
player, I get it, in a role, but Dynasty is just
moment-
never going to give you. I'm surprised you can get a second for James Conner, not because
I'm
he's not
surprised you got
that,
someone got a first for Miles
because it's-
Sanders.
Dynasty. It's not where the value go. But anyway,
But if your league
during
is
the player
willing-
front,
if-
people like Miles Sanders went for a first in my league. Well, that's valuable, but he was also that's good context for your league. But again, your league was looking at a young player on a more promising situation for that role, at least. And also, player profiler was pumping Miles Sanders fucking like they owed him. He owed them money. Like there was a lot of hope for Miles Sanders last year. You're not going to get people out here like James Conner top 5, baby. There's
Aren't they
just
the
not going to
same
be the
draft
wind
class?
behind him. No, he's talking about last year. Miles
No,
Sanders. before
Connor and
last year.
Miles Sanders.
No, Connor was before Sanders.
I was
Was
just
he?
thinking like before the season last year. And that's
No,
the
'cause you
thing.
called
Miles
Connor
Sanders is
old
someone
and
the
Miles
wind
Sanders
can get
young, and I
behind.
couldn't conceptualize when Connor came out in the moment.
I can look it up.
Oh, well, I guess it had to be if his contract ran out and Miles Sanders didn't.
Sanders was 2019.
Yeah.
And Connor was like 2017, he said, tentatively.
Legitimately don't remember.
I think it was 2017, maybe 2018. I can look it up. But.
It's not that important. I just didn't remember anymore.
Just completely interrupted my wind miming to have that conversation, by the way. I thought I was doing a good Dynasty Winds of Change mime, and you just overlooked it. Howdy, Robert! BJ Lee. So what's going on with the 15 running backs in Miami? I don't know, man.
San Francisco.
So, wait, so Shanahan.
I don't think they want to
Anyway,
draft
San
one.
Francisco. Yeah.
That's my
Welcome to San Francisco East, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Raheem
Now,
Mostert, you're
also-
here. Welcome. It's like you never
Yeah.
left.
Speaking of disappearing landing spots, doesn't it make you feel like the team is not on the Miami should draft Brees Hall kind of a train? I don't think they want to draft one.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem
Hi.
like it.
Yeah.
Would have been nice.
Just a guess. Rondo Moore and Derrick Henry for the two.
No, wait, go down
206.
one. Go down one.
106. My head did not untilt.
Still no.
Still, yes, I agree. Still, but
Rondo Moore and Henry, please.
I'd
I
rather
saw
have-
this when it was coming up. Like when he typed it, I'm like, what? Oh, okay.
106. I want those
Yeah.
players.
2017
Player.
for James Conner.
It was 2017. Yeah,
Yeah.
I wasn't to remember that.
Kyle loved him.
Should,
Like that.
should I trade the 107, the 109 for the 104? I don't know off the top of my head. I think so.
Superflex,
It's a little
yes.
high, but yes.
107, 109 for the 104. Yeah.
Superflex, absolutely.
Climb the ladder kind of a thing, yeah.
Yep. Plus, I think in
Actually,
Super-
one QB even more.
Have you noticed Casey Keenum doing that in the Trade Addicts League, by the way? And Trade Addicts 7. Sorry, I know you've got
Yeah, because
like,
it's always
million
it's
of them.
been with me.
She did it with
Yeah.
you. Then she offered me the same deal in round 3. She's just trying to slowly climb the ladder in each round. It's a smart approach.
You go, girl.
I thought that was
My favorite
smart.
part was that he called her Casey Keenum.
That's her
It's
name.
close. No, Kasem.
No, Keenum.
No, Keenum. Okay, I'll let her know. You
That
changed her
doesn't
name.
roll off my team. Team? tongue nearly as well. So.
I've never seen anybody typo in a live show before. It's just impressive.
Yes, you have. You've been live showing with me for a while, Zach. I think you've seen it before. Robert, I say no, Nicholas. Cool. Walker had a better 10-yard split. I don't care. But I appreciate you being this deep in their athleticism. I know Fusuvu can probably get you all hyped over their 10-yard splits and stuff.
Oh, if you want to see Traylon Burks hype, go to Fusu. He will.
Really?
He will. Traylon Burks hype. Oh yeah, he's sitting. He's like he had him clocked at like 21.5 miles an hour in game. He like Burks is fast. I see that when he's got the ball. It was a lot like watching Cooper Kupp. Like Cooper Kupp wasn't fast en route, but then when he had the ball, it was like, oh, there you are. So
Joe, don't mean to sound so negative towards you all the time, man. I don't know why. It's your James Conner love. It's gotten deep.
No, Joe doesn't love James Conner.
Nicholas loves James Conner. I'm getting you all confused.
Focus up, will you? Come on, Peter.
I'm trying, man. I ran out of coffee a while ago. Daniel, someone kept me up to 4 a.m. trying to teach them how to make Google
I just like
Sheet
talking
work.
to you.
No, someone wanted Google Sheet work done, and I'm tired. Daniel, 12-team PPR Superflex. Would you trade away the 102 for Amon-Ra St. Brown plus a 23 first? I have 3 other rookies first this year.
I probably would not, especially in a Superflex.
Which other first do you have? If one of is it like the 105? I'd probably do that for closer to the 105.
Yeah, the fact you have other first doesn't change the trade for me. Outside of maybe I would switch it to one of those other firsts. And 102 is just such a sweet spot this year. You get one.
You can do better. You're going to get that's on the clock. You'll be able to get a better trade than that.
Yeah.
You're going to get Breece Hall or Malik Willis in a Superflex, and yeah, you'll be able to. Like Russ, I agree with you. You'll be able to do better than that.
If you could tone it down from the 102 to, like Russ said, the 105, I think would be pretty close to in. Jerry Jeudy over or under 1,100 yards and 5 touchdowns.
I mean, then he's worse than CeeDee Lamb.
That's right. That's my hope. Like, it wouldn't be my medium projection for Jeudy. That's what I hope I can hit. So I guess I'm saying the under, but I am hopeful.
I mean, I'll say like 800-900 yards and around 5 touchdowns is probably a very likely outcome.
So, and that's sad. Joe Herbert, Vivian, Rick, Neil, or Mike, young ones.
Oh man, take a look at my life. I'm a lot like you. Yeah, it's Neil for me, Joe.
No opinion. And James, Gigi Moore has a time machine. I believe it. That's my personal belief. I saw a documentary about it last night featuring Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, you watched it?
Robert. I have, yeah. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. 101, Henry, Rondell, Moore for Waddle, 106 and 208.
Yep, I want Waddle.
Yeah, that's closer.
So you drop him from the 101 to the 106 for Waddle, basically. Yeah, I don't mind that. Yeah. Terry McLaurin on Zach Wilson or Stafford. Stafford, I guess, in a super flex.
Woof. Yeah, but
I don't want Zach Wilson.
Already has Watson, Dak, and Ryan. Well, like you don't necessarily need Stafford.
No, but where's I think.
Is it worth giving up McLaurin?
The actual value between Wilson and Stafford is not as far apart as we want to think it is.
So trade for Zach Wilson and then trade him because other people will like Zach Wilson more than we do. People keep telling me Zach Wilson is good. I keep saying, okay, and shrugging. People tell me that I do that a lot. That if I disagree with you, I'm like, yeah, and then shrug.
Yeah, I was happy Zach Wilson finished looking pretty okay because that boosted his value a little bit to make him more easy go away.
Yeah, if you think you can take Terry McLaurin and if you think you can trade Zach Wilson away, you know your league better. I'd be interested in that. Where I'm a weak trader, I might be more skittish of it, but that would be my intention if I could. Super Coop. Ryan May, I just like saying that. 301 startup 12-team Superflex 0.75 tight end premium. He has Allen, Josh Allen, Keenan Allen.
Well, let's assume that's Josh Allen because it's the 101.
Josh Allen and Andrews. Yeah, Mark Andrews must be. Should I get Stafford or Rodgers? Oh, so who should he select at the 301? Stafford or Rodgers?
Neither.
Yeah. I don't mind stacking up QBs early in a startup draft, but I mean, are those the best ones, really?
I mean, I think I would take Stafford over Rodgers, even though Rodgers might produce better the next year. Yeah, no, okay. No, I'll take Rodgers. Because if I can get 2 years, that's all I care about.
Yeah, I'd probably just take Rodgers. I don't know if that's the best pick on the board for me, but if that's my option, yeah. Stephanie and Caleb. Why did it take me so long to phonetically sound out the
I have
name
no
Stephanie?
idea. I was also very curious with how you were going to pronounce this.
I have issues. 10-team Superflex tight end premium looking to trade DK. What can I get? I think you can keep DK right now, honestly, in addition to Elijah Moore. Or what kind of package could I get otherwise? Every trade I've seen with DK in it, I've wanted the DK side so far. So
I'm sending something like DK in a second and trying to get into that Waddle range. I'd rather have Waddle than DK.
I'd rather add to DK and go up.
Yep.
Yeah.
I need like a first and a second on top of Elijah Moore to get to DK's value. Just to give him.
I don't think you get that right now. But maybe
I'm just saying that's what I need.
She asked, or
I'm with you.
they asked, what can you get in addition to Elijah Moore? Yeah, I'd rather go the other way. Because DK Metcalf is still kind of ensconced in that top 10 wide receiver conversation. I would rather stay
dividing
up in the
assets
top 10.
is kind of like a building move, unless you're telling me you're destroying your team or whatnot. Then
especially this little 10 team, like you want to have the asset, like you want to be building assets, not splitting them.
Go get Justin Jefferson, you know. Also just got offered the 302, the 18, the 811, and a 23 third for the 412 and the 501. Yeah, looks like
startup.
This is startup.
Yeah, startup.
I'm like, why are we talking about? Wait, okay, never mind. I get it.
The 8th round rookie pick? Who cares? No, he's still in his startup. It looks pretty balanced. I've seen trades like that go down pretty well in startups pretty often.
4 and 5. Oh, hold on.
I'm normally apt to trade for value, but I don't want a 23 third. Like,
right.
Turn into something interesting, maybe.
Superflex. Hold on. What's the 412 is what? Pick 48?
Yeah.
Zach Wilson, Stephon Diggs, Nick Chubb, Dalvin Cook, Mac Jones, Ryan Tannehill, Kittle, Dobbins, Mixon. And the 302 is 24, so like 26.
Well, that's where he's talking
Javonte.
That's Stafford range. Yeah.
Rodgers and Stafford are actually right next to each other in ADP. Christian McCaffrey, DK Metcalf, Devontae Adams. Honestly, man, like DK Metcalf or Kittle and Dalvin Cook or Stephon Diggs.
I'd rather have the 412 and the 501.
Yeah,
I'm apt to trade down, to be honest.
Yeah, especially when we're just that high. Going one round down isn't a big deal.
Yup. Brett, would you... Let me try that again. Brett, would love to hear your thoughts on this. Just traded Metcalf for the 102, the 209 in a Superflex tight end pre. I think that's good. The 102 could be Breece Hall or a quarterback. I think that's solid. One of the better ones I've seen.
It's a little lighter than I want to see. I want that 209 to be like the 112. But it's not bad. You're absolutely right. Like there's
better ones,
in all likelihood, Breece Hall can end up with a very similar ADP than Metcalf has, and the 102 will gain value after the draft, I'm sure, because someone will lock in who their 102 is going to be. And Metcalf, it would take something very, very strange in Seattle to happen for him to gain value at this point.
Yeah.
Like, they would have to go get Watson or like Winston, like someone who will chuck the ball and do it well. Because I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the idea of Drew Lock and DK Metcalf. It sounds like, I never said it's good. I just said I love the idea of it. It sounds like so much fun to me. But like, if Winston goes there, who's actually somewhat
more offensive lineman and Drew Lock. Let's go.
So to me, it's like, it sounds fun. DK, and then you get to Drew Lock, and then it's like not as much fun.
To me, that is so much fun. A dude that doesn't care where he throws the ball. He just closes his eyes and throws it really far. To a dude that can run faster than everyone and then moss the hell out of people. I'm there for it. Now, don't get me wrong. I would prefer if it was Cutler, who was a little better. But, you know, I'm there.
I guess it worked for Cortland Sutton.
It did.
Is there a landing spot for Julio that could make him useful for me to trade? I'm a little worried that he doesn't have one. He was just cut.
Was he? I missed that.
That's normally not a good sign. He's just released. That's normally not a good sign. You are waiting for positive news before you can get anything back in trade, though, probably.
But he's also the kind of guy that doesn't need to rush to sign anywhere. Like, you know, Des Bryant got a job in training camp. I mean, like, you know, so at the end of training camp. So I think Julio can sign whenever he feels like.
I mean, there's a few landing spots, I'm sure. Like, I'm not good at landing. Would Philadelphia excite people? Or, you know,
Arizona?
Denver. Russell Wilson and Julio, would that excite people?
Oh my God, so much. I don't care that we're at like end of the career Julio. To say those words together would make me so happy.
There you go.
So what you're gonna need is a trade,
clip, some chewing gum, and some electric wire, and
that's it. We're gonna MacGyver this.
We're gonna MacGyver.
No, so you need him. So you need Watson to be traded to Atlanta, Matt Ryan to go to Houston, and then Julio to sign with Houston, and then people are excited about Julio. Because now he's the wide receiver one, retied to Matt Ryan.
That would be so funny. And like the colors from Houston and Atlanta aren't really that far off.
Yep.
Like, that's
Run it back, fellas.
I like it.
Would you trade Russell Wilson for CMC and Cooper Kupp in a tight end superflex?
I think it's or. I don't think it's
and.
or. Yeah.
No. Cup maybe. CMC no for sure. Again, depending on your league. If you have the league where you can get away with trading Russell Wilson right now for a non-quarterback and later be able to get a quarterback in a different way, yeah, I would trade him for Cup because I do think Cup has very close value, and when it comes down to it, points per game will give you more of an positional advantage than Russell Wilson will at quarterback in his value range. That I would do that trade, but if that's only if you can pick another guy on your team and trade him for a different quarterback.
Yeah, and to me, it also depends on what your team looks like for quarterbacks. Like if Russell Wilson is your QB3, then I'm probably doing that because, you're playing quarterback roulette. But if Russell Wilson is your QB1, I'm a lot less inclined to make a trade for even the positional advantage that Kupp gives you, because I don't think the positional advantage that Kupp gives you makes up for a QB3 as your QB2, if that makes sense.
Yeah, the difference in wide receiver.
Yeah, I think we're saying the value's close enough. It's about your team situation, you know?
Yep.
How deep is your quarterback? Toronto Dave. Came in right at the Drake London talk. Love it. Oh, that's good to know. It's good to know how long we are.
He came in the wrong spot because he likes Drake London, and I'm tepid, apparently. I don't know.
Everyone likes Drake London, it seems. So much that if you just like him, it's not enough. They've got to call you out on it. Stephanie and Caleb, I got it right this time. 10-team Superflex tight end premium. What's a good trade I can make for the 104 or draft?
I would hold it for now.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean,
10 teams.
You should value the 104 really highly in a Superflex. You should It should get you.
I just forgot to
a
get rid of the
lot.
other players. Hold on.
I mean,
That's what
like
I
the
started.
104 is the pick that I'm targeting right now in a super flex because I think that there will be
Alvin Kamara, Dalvin Cook, Aaron Rodgers, Austin Eckler, Mark Andrews, Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
You
If I could
don't
get
make me open up
Andrews,
my
if I
trade
could get
target
Hurts.
table again.
But the 104, you're getting one of Willis, Hall, Burks, or Wilson, and those are the four guys that I think are stand out in this class to me. And so, like, I have been targeting the 104. Like, I've been very open about that. I just recorded a thing for J Mike, who's doing a dummy blitz, and he wanted to know specifically how to attack this draft. And I said, if we're in a super flex, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. So Stephanie and Caleb, like, you don't have to trade the 104 yet. It's not going to decrease in value between now and your rookie draft. And if you get on the clock and you think you can go get someone like Mark Andrews, and that helps you out. Like, I think Mark Andrews is a positional advantage at tight end, especially in a premium. Go do that. If you can't get one of those trades done that really improves your team, then take the guy that's there, that, you know, one of those four, and be happy about it. Because I think
Andrews is it's an interesting one. I think a lot of people will be willing to do that on the clock or closer to the clock or right now. Names that because that's what she's looking for. She's looking about who should I go try and trade for. There's very few permanent answers to that, and they're all really expensive if you're going to give a permanent answer to it, because you don't want to. You know, rookie picks can get you freaking anyone in the league. Could be anyone. It could be a boat. So what I would it for is a boat, basically, is the way I'm looking at it. And I can't think, like, Waddle's value is really weird. Could you work a trade out for Waddle in the 104?
You have to add a lot to it.
Okay. 1-for-1, that's probably too much. Najee Harris, but I don't want running backs right now.
Still,
but that would be interesting.
Pretty easily.
Still add a lot. I know. In a super flex,
I listed the names that are close to me.
I want a boat. That's what I'm telling you, Stephanie. Like, the 104 could be a boat. I want a boat. I want to take the risk out the pick if I'm trading it, or I'm just going to go see if the mystery box is a boat. And so, like, whoever is a boat to you, whoever's elite that you think their value is a little lower, DK Metcalf, we were just talking about people struggling to get that kind of value for him.
Can we start replacing the word like stud or sure shot with boat?
Boat. I think it's a good idea.
DK, oh, he's a boat. Oh yeah, man.
The better frame of mind to be in. You know, I want a boat, or I want to go see if this is a boat. That's
from now on. Proven guys are now boats. We're making it happen. Everyone listening, let's do it.
Stephon Diggs, he's nearly on team old guy, right? AJ Brown.
Stephon Diggs is on team old guy. He's absolutely a boat.
Exactly. Am I getting close to the 104 value that we've been talking about being so important?
Diggs might be lower.
Yeah, it feels like.
But I'd be happy with Diggs on my team.
That's what I mean. Like, you're taking some of the risk out, and that's why I would trade it, just to take the risk out of it, because there's a lot of upside in that pick, but there's a lot of risk, and so I want something that's more. That's what I would be thinking of if I was trying to trade it away. It's a super flex as well, so you could also target just something that always has value. Like, shit, Derek Carr definitely doesn't have that much value. You should ask for a return. You could target even better quarterback. Like, you listed him, right? I should have listened when you listed him. I didn't. 104 for a quarterback, straight up. Who are you thinking?
Wait, hold on. This is more important.
The names that come to mind seem too low. Like,
he said Jalen. He said Jalen Hurts was right in there.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts for the 104. That's easily Jalen Hurts. Even in 10-team superflex, I think Jalen Hurts.
The reason I'm scatting around is because I don't want to trade for who I like. So I want to tell you what I would think about going to trade for. So decide for you who is that kind of player. It takes a risk out of it. You're sure you're getting high level production and value, somewhat at least. Hurts' value might drop off in the year, obviously, but I feel a little more. But if you don't, then Hurts wouldn't be your answer. All right, Robert, 1 QB league, 4 PPR. Core players are ETN, JK,
LOL.
Did he not ETN or am I not think JK?
ETN, J.K. Dobbins, Derrick Henry.
JK Dobbins,
Hey,
thank you. I
ETN,
couldn't
just
think who
kidding. I
JK
had
was. I
Henry
thought
instead.
JK was like, I'm just kidding. I'm not ETN. Okay, ETN, Dobbins, Henry, Sanders, Chase, Judy, Bateman. So all the wide receivers
Doesn't matter.
from last year. And
It doesn't matter who you
Should
have.
I
You could always just
draft?
drop that part from the conversation when say, who should I draft? You draft the best player. Who do you think's the best player?
I think Hall's the best player.
it's so sad that.
But I just heard Anthony Amico say that Drake London was, so I'm conflicted. I'm taking
Like
Hall.
at least a third of our answers are you don't have to worry about who's on your team. We could just automate.
Whether it's because it's March or because we're talking about the rookie draft, it's the right answer.
I think that team is competitive,
Absolutely.
and I'm taking Hall because that team is competitive.
I don't hate
Assuming landing again, we don't know landing spots. Assuming
one
Hall
QB
lands
and-
some.
Yeah, I would be very tempted with taking Hall there, assuming, exactly, the draft goes okay, and
Yeah.
he doesn't get stuck behind Jonathan Taylor, as you said could happen, I guess.
I don't think it will, but
Then
you
I'd
asked
be
me
tempted with
where
Hall.
I would be dissuaded from him, and that is a place.
That is a place that would happen. Some rookie draft, round 2 and 3 players will probably hit, but it's so unclear.
Yes, but some
Yes.
rookie round 2 and 3 players will be poisonous seeds from prehistoric ferns, also. And your
Majority of them.
Triceratops is going to get sick. We're going back to the giant pile.
It took me a second to get back there, but I got there. It took me a second. You said Triceratops, I'm like, you brought it back. You brought it back. I got it now.
Dovetailing. Aaron Lafont. Sorry, I was checking the time.
LaForte.
I love the band that
The
came for
Brave.
my question. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. Daniel, asking this again in case you're not checking the other stream. I don't know if I am. They give me one list, I read it. I'll check it out though. 12-team PPR Superflex. Would you trade away the 102? We did answer this. Antonius. Why do I want to say Antonio? Amon
Every
Ross Brown. Well, hey man, I'm consistent. If nothing else,
Yes, that's
I'm
the important
consistent.
part.
I think we answered this. So
Yes, we did.
thank you, Daniel. Joe. So Zach, Chaos Theory explains this wide
Absolutely.
receiver class.
A butterfly flaps its wings in the Philippines, and Drake London can't separate in the secondary. Like it's chaos theory. Life finds a way.
Finds a way. Tristan, thoughts on Justin Ross? Really interesting. He's a deeper second, third round pick for me right now, but that 18-year season was really interesting. And if I can discount everything that happened after that, he looks like a good player.
I think he's good. I think you'll probably get him around the 202. I think that's a good spot for him.
You think he's
202,
gonna go back?
204. Peter,
I was hoping
this
later
class
second
is-
round. But
it's
okay.
fine. I mean, but again, this is where we're at with this class, Peter. Is you're gonna if you like a guy, you're gonna go up and get him. If you don't, you're gonna miss him.
That's
What,
fair.
Russ? T.
No, just
Higgins?
to question you, that was up there.
Oh,
It was. What do you guys think of Justin Ross? And
oh, yeah. Hashtag big Clemson wide receivers.
no, wait. Stop
Uh,
looking at questions. Mine's more important. So
Okay.
that team, I just traded Aaron Rodgers for the 106.
Mm-hmm.
I just got offered. Hold on. Devonta Smith and the 104 for Tyreek Hill.
I'm probably taking the 104 and Devonta Smith.
Yeah.
The best part was, hold on, let me see what I actually sent him, because in the chat, in our group chat, Russ, I countered, please accept, and now I don't want to because he's asking me to do it. Hold on,
He's asking though, not telling.
trade offer rejected. Oh, I added the 204. He got rid of the 204. Yes, I'm absolutely taking that. I'm gonna. Oh, and then I'm gonna say, since you asked nicely.
Time we did it live.
Since you asked nicely.
Bob, the answer to your
107 to
question
10.
in 4 minutes is 14 minutes.
Fair enough. Ronnie Rhodes, 107, 109, 110 for Waddle, and a 23 first. 3 first
have
round
Waddle
picks
in
for
the
Waddle and a
first.
first. I will take Waddle
Absolutely,
and a first.
Waddle.
Really easily.
Absolutely.
Really,
I would trade
really
those
easily.
3 picks for Waddle.
Yeah. It's just getting an extra first and also really good value on Waddle.
Because of boats. Waddle is a boat.
Boats. Waddle is a boat so far. Not even going to try, Mr. Berg. So, with Conklin signing with the Jets, where my Smith truth is at. Yeah, that's going to be a thing again.
Jets.
I always thought the Jets fans should be dyslexic and just say J-E-S-T, jest, because that would be a little more fitting.
Sometimes they do.
Yeah. Irv Smith truthers are not in this building.
Like,
Irv Smith is another tight end in a series of tight ends that are below the tight ends that you want.
Just what I said
He was
about
like
OJ
one of
Howard
the tight ends ever productive in college. I really thought it would translate.
It did not.
It did not.
It did not. No.
Well, injuries and
caught it though.
And like Kirk Cousins just being in love with Kyle. I almost said Zach Rudolph. That's not the right person. Who is Zach Rudolph? You're Zach.
Quarterbacks don't target tight ends because they like targeting tight ends. They target good tight ends. That's
but Kyle Rudolph in the end zone. That's the thing. It was Irv between the 20s and Rudolph in the end zone, and that's what killed
Rudolph was good.
Irv Smith's healthy production.
Jacob Johnson. I have James Robinson in half-point PPR Dynasty. I'm going to take Breece Hall in the 2022 draft to replace him. It's good to know in advance. It's nice. Does James Robinson ever come back to being running back one production? I think he's going to be a really interesting value this year. I think he'll win the job. I do.
That's a tough injury to come back from.
Is it anymore? Because we just saw one guy do it in like 4 weeks.
He built different. I think he's just built different. But yeah, tough. I wouldn't bet on it with a first round pick, put it that way.
But I mean, like, hang on to James Conner. That'd be like, it's a nice, card to have in your hand to be able to play. Did Peter freeze
Nicholas
again?
has gotten Nicholas has gotten in your head. You just said hold on to James Conner.
He did.
Oh, James Robinson.
I feel like I'm being trolled left, right, and center. PJ Lee, 103, 1 QB or DK.
DK. So much.
Yeah. That was nice timing, Russ. Well done. Super Cooper, love the advice on Zach. I think this is dumpster fire. Yeah. If you think you can trade him after that, I'd go get Terry McLaurin. I think that's why we came out on that. Michael Hogan, 1 QB league. I have the 103, the 105, the 109, and the 110. Needing running, you don't need anything right now, dude. But yeah, sure. Thinking Breece, trade the 105. Who would you guys target?
I want to know
From
which pick.
Way you're talking, I'm going to say that Zach's answer from earlier doesn't apply. You're saying you need help, which means you don't have a dominant team. You're probably not a direct contender, and therefore the draft haul is a little more tentative. But honestly, I don't know right now. I think Hall at the 101 over Burks or whoever your wide receiver one is fair this year. I think, yeah, you can draft Hall. I think he's a very solid 101 this year.
So I have a question about Michael. What pick did you earn? Like, where are you? What's your team look like? Because if you earn the 101, I have a lot more hesitancy taking that running back rather than trading back. And because to me, and maybe this is just the way I build, but I would much rather have my wide receiver core in order before I start firing off rookie running backs, because and I talked about this on the last Dynasty Dummies show, I am playing running backs for 2, maybe 3 years, and then I am trading them because I'm now building my young wide receiver core, and I'm ready to go get that running back, the next running back, because of the transience of that position. It's so ephemeral. There's not a lot of There's not a lot of longevity in the running back position at all. And so if your team is quasi set, then fine, go get Hall. But if it's not, then I would be a lot more inclined to trade that 101, get either picks in 2023 or another pick and a 23 for like something to kind of kick that can and build, rather than take Hall and then try to make up your wide receivers with those trades.
That's a good point. I think it's also worth noting this isn't a class to build your dynasty team's backbone with. It's a really interesting class. There are good players in it. I like the class, but it's not like this will be the core for the next 5 years. So I think
trade them all.
Yeah.
Keep the one.
Trade them all.
Throw a dart.
Let 2023 sort them out. Yeah, we're about 18 minutes behind. 20
minutes. That's not bad.
Just finished my rankings. Anyone ready for a startup?
I did not think I would actually have the itch, and I kind of do. Not gonna lie.
To do rankings?
To do startup.
I know.
You heard it here first, folks. Let's get trade out. 97,
but I really last off season. I really didn't even really have the itch. The only reason TA10 came out was because Bosch gave you a good idea, and because I was doing the Harry Potter League, and that was happening. And even if I didn't want another league, I was doing that Harry Potter League.
Hey, look, it's Joe.
Joe!
Joe.
Hey, guys, please. I'm going to drop Golladay, but tell me who ended up.
In FFPC, you're probably not going to regret it.
Yeah. Probably not. In FFPC.
So many weird noises
probably
going
worth
on.
More than a roster spot, but yeah. I'd like to get the number 1 rookie pick. I have the 2, the 3, and the 6. If I make an offer for the 1-6 and the 1 for the 101, is it realistic? Or more likely the guy at 1 asks for 2 and 3. What does it take to get the 101?
106. Man. I need to know if this is super flex.
Yeah.
But the 106, you're going to need to add another first. It shouldn't take it shouldn't take the 3 and the 6 to get to the 1. Like if you're giving the 6, it needs to be like the 6 and the 7. Like you need to it needs another mid first value to get you to the 101.
How much do you think you have to put with the 6 to get to the 4? I know that's not the question, but that's my question.
The second round.
Because if I threw the 106 in a second and got 2, 3, and 4, I'm just as happy probably happier than if I had the 1.
I'm so angry. I have a league where I have the 1, 2, 3, 5.
Throw that second. Get 1, 2, 3, 4.
You want to just be J Mike check?
Oh no, I'm not going to get the full J Mike, but
not the full J Mike. That should be a thing too. Go full J Mike.
Henry. I'm changing my home league team, which J Mike is now in. He is coming from Ohio to Maine to draft live. I'm changing my team name to the full J Mike. It is done.
I like it. Michael Henry asks, what side is better, the 104, the 110, the 208, or the 101 in a 12-team start 2 tight ends?
Or scoring. I'm going to guess that's PPR scoring.
So it's not a super flex, so it's Breece Hall or a plethora of wide receivers.
I would just take Breece Hall.
Yeah.
I'd keep the 101, especially it's not like Pitts is here to be your 101 like he was last year to start 2 tight end.
If the good players are about are JT, Chase, and Jefferson yachts, no,
like super yachts, like the ones that are getting impounded.
Let's not get too deep into this offhand metaphor, but sure. Andrew Carlson, 102 for DK. That's a little
still take
steep.
DK.
But probably still take DK, right?
I think so.
Superflex or not? Hey, we found a get out of jail free card. Superflex or not? Thanks, guys. That's why I provided.
It's a 1 quarterback league. PPR 1 quarterback.
So Burks or DK, basically. DK. it's DK. I'll take the more of a boat than maybe a boat.
Yeah.
I'm getting way too deep into the boat metaphor. PPR, 12 person.
I can draw you one if you want.
No, you're good, Andrew. Appreciate it. Yeah, draw me a boat and then maybe I'll understand. Ronnie Rhodes, back to my last question. The 107, the 109, the 110 for Waddle, and the 23 first. Everybody in my group chat thought I was crazy for that trade. Thank you for reassuring me. Much love, you guys. No problem, man. Honestly,
I think that's a great trade, Ronnie. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. If one of those three firsts in the same draft and it's coming up, it's a very different proposition to 3 firsts. You know, it could be 23 first in there, and you've got a little bit more mystery value in there. Zach, Zeke, Derrick Henry, James Conner, Mike Evans, Hunter Henry for my 101 pick. No, right? No. My pick back, plan on tanking. Okay. Don't say it out loud. ETN, Gabe Davis, Gamewell, 23 second, 10 team, half point PP, 1 QB. So I think the question is the 101 or Zeke, Henry, James Conner, Jesus, and Mike Evans and Hunter Henry. That's like a whole half a team for the 101.
Well, you get ETN back too.
Is that include? Yeah, okay. That's
ETN the 101. Well,
okay.
But again, you can't assume that it's the 101. I know you want to tank. I know that you're trying to tank, but assuming that is the 101 is dangerous. And you're also not filling your team out. So when I attack a draft class like the 2023, which is a draft class I'm attacking, I want multiple picks in that draft to restock my team. Getting one pick.
No, isn't he saying he's trading his first away?
No. He's saying
why does whether he plans on tanking or not?
So listen, he
wants to get his first back.
He's already traded his one.
Oh, he's trying to get his first back. I'm on the side. Okay.
So this again feels like a sell to sell. Like it feels like one of those things where like you feel like you need to do this. I think you will be better off. And this is going to sound, but breaking them up and making multiple trades to get more picks in the 23 class.
Like Mike Evans for a first and a second, Derrick Henry for a first and a second, Zeke for something.
Honestly,
Connor, whatever. That's going to get you more.
I don't think this trade's all that bad.
It's not terrible. It's just
but
because at least the points and the value are on the right side if you're tanking.
But
so it's not terrible.
Let's pretend we have a league of people hoarding 23s, but you have a way to be a little silly about it, but go to get the 101.
But it's one quarterback. Like what? Okay, fine. So you got one running back. Congratulations.
But don't you think you could turn that 101 into multiple firsts from someone? Like someone will pay 2 firsts to go get that 101.
But you still so now you've got 2 firsts. So now you've got 2 running backs
and a second. The trade is just stuffed. It's too stuffed. Like take Gabe Davis out. I get it. Maybe he'll do something. I don't want that right now.
Surefire stuff.
I don't want Gamewell. I don't need those things in this trade. Let me keep something else that I can trade again. You know, it's just a little too stuffed. But I get the idea. It's not terrible. And personally, for me, I'd try and see what I could get for Henry, what I could get for Evans separately. Yeah. Even Zeke should have value.
Yep.
But Russ says just do it. So
No, I was legitimately asking. I wasn't saying.
I know, buddy. I know.
I mean, I guess if you get ETN and then can trade ETN, like again, like whatever.
That's fair. Yeah. Go where your heart desires. But I personally don't like it.
I feel like if you do that, you're tanking for multiple years. I just do like. I feel like that is a blow it up and not have a plan to retool. And maybe Zach does. Maybe he has multiple firsts. And sorry, this one killed Russ.
I think we killed Russ. But yeah, I need more firsts if I'm trading away half of these really productive players. And I'm building and give me first. Stop jimmying me with Gabe Davis's, But
I need help.
It's not terrible.
You need help.
I need help. So I just did the trade of Hill for the 104 and Devonta Smith. And someone who knows me, just offered me Jalen Waddle and a 23 second for the 104, 106, and the 307.
104, 106. I don't care about the 3.
Jalen Waddle and what? A 20...
23 second from a very good team. So it'll most likely be a late pick.
Whatever. It's Jalen Waddle for 2 first-round picks. Later.
The 104 and the 106.
I'd rather have Waddle.
Yeah.
But
I take the
because
boat.
I think whatever you're hoping for at 104, like you're hoping Garrett Wilson becomes Jalen Waddle. Well, Jalen Waddle is already Jalen Waddle.
It could even be a boat.
Yeah, and then you've got a 50-50 shot at whatever the other No,
I'm just gonna take it.
Yeah, I would.
Great show tonight, guys. Thanks for the help. Peace.
Thank
Sorry,
you,
that was
BJ.
my best
Well, that was
Zach
me.
impression.
Peace.
I know, right? There you go.
That makes me so happy every time he does it. Not gonna lie.
I know, right?
Kyle looked at me real funny the first time, but after that, it was good.
Zach, put me at 5, 2023 first.
Okay, so now we have a plan.
Puts me at 5, 2023 first and 423 seconds. The team I traded my players to, I don't have their 23 first.
No.
Okay.
So so that looks a little bit different with that trade. I'm a lot more inclined to get the 23 first and ETN. I may even try to trade ETN again because he's not doing you any good this year. And
I guess my question is, if you just give him Evans and Henry, like, can't you shift? Like, just give the core of your trade for the core of his, which is the 101, what you suspect is the 101, and just drop all the ancillary stuff that's getting me.
So here's
me up all the other players that I could trade to.
But here's the thing, though. I think what he's saying is it was Zeke, Henry, and Evans to get the 101, right?
Mm.
And then Gabe Davis, or the 101 in ETN. And then Gabe Davis is a player that other people like more than we do, Peter.
Yeah.
So that's a trade piece. Fine. Gainwell's probably the same way, where depending on what happens with the running back, there's a team that could end up with a running back.
And Zach seems like he's a pretty active trader with the amount of draft capital he's acquired here.
Yeah, I do. I like that a lot more, Zach, knowing your team and the kind of plan you put in place. Like like we talk about in a vacuum, and nothing is ever in a vacuum when it's in your league. So I like having the context. I appreciate it.
It's just kind of one of those trades where I'm like, I hate it. Okay. It's fine. FF Lefty. Hey, guys, should I A, trade for a running back? No, because I need a running back right now. No. And B, draft based on need.
No.
And not consider value.
He's literally just making
No.
He's doing it on purpose.
Worry about scoring points right now. Thanks. I'll hang up and listen.
Do everything. Do it all.
Do all of that, I guess. No, thank you, FF Lefty. Appreciate that one. Noah, Amari Cooper value right now with the potential of Watson pairing. I don't think anyone's valuing the potential of the Watson pairing. Your league might be different, but I think it would have to happen before he's changed much. Right now, he seems undervalued. Like, people underrate finding that level of player, I do think, even though the Browns suck. and it's going to be sucky to see a good player on that team again. But it was the same with Landry, and he squeaked out a couple in the 24 seasons. So, squinting thing.
Yeah, Baker.
Yeah. Okay. He's very emotional. They're breaking up, so who knows? One QB, the trade question.
Yes.
Yeah,
I was back up. Yep.
Yeah, it's fine.
It was the
12 team
2,
Superflex.
3, and 6. Yeah.
Yeah. Start 9. 101 plus the 105 or CD. You see? Yeah.
Superflex, I'd take the 101 and 105. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
because you got a quarterback and a
101 is actually feels like fair value.
Yeah. And I might even pair my second round pick with the 105 and try to get up to 104 or 103.
So
Just because that's what I do.
DLF thinks I lost my trades tonight because what my trades turned out to be, because I traded Aaron Rodgers for the 106, and then I traded Tyreek Hill for Devonta Smith and the 104, and then traded the 104 and the 106 for Waddle. So I traded Rodgers and Hill for Waddle and Devonta Smith. And that,
well, you can't trade calculate talent.
The 1.09 as a loss.
Yeah, but the 1.09 is going to be a bust, so you didn't lose anything. Don't worry about it. I wouldn't even worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Another JJ figure Whiteside. You'll be fine. You'll be laughing. Michael Henry, my team was top scorer in my league. Running backs, Jay Javante, Gibson. Wide receiver, Ice, Deontay, Chark. I like the fact you're listening him. Tony and Rondell. Tight end, Andrews, Kittle, Faramuth.
Start two tight ends.
Albert, don't mind that. 12-team, 1 QB start, 2 tight ends. 104, 105, and 1. Realizing there's not a question at the end of this.
Good for you, man.
We just cat tipped to Michael. That's a nice looking team.
Good for you.
Wait.
That's a different person.
He was given context for the trade, I guess.
What's that one?
Okay. I suck at this. Russ, let's do a Star Wars league and just not tell John Bush the theme until he's in the auction. Can we?
And then we tell him that it's only auction for the first 24 players, and it turns into a draft.
And you have to bid in Yodas, the new currency. Ronnie Rhodes, 10-team startup PPR tight end premium. Trade the 107, the 204, and the 22 second rookie pick for. Is that a second round rookie pick, right? It's got to be. For 104, 304. And how's the second round pick in this trade?
Startup 10-team. Traded.
Startup. But what's the order of their rookie draft if he's just saying second? Unless it is the 102.
I think I just committed
it would
robbery.
Be the second rookie pick.
So he traded the 107, 204, and the 102 in the rookie draft for the 104, 304, 708, and the 2023 first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he moved up 3 spots, moved back 10 spots, or 10 spots.
And changed the 102 to a first?
And got a 7th. Yeah, you win.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I'm very confused. We need the wall. We're
someone get the chart
theory wall with like the red string, and that's where we're at. But
I'm gonna set one up right here so we can. 12 team super. We think you did. 12 team super flex 0.75 tight end premium Lamb for Brown and a 23 second. No,
I'm guessing it's AJB.
Lamb, please.
Yeah, I'll take Brown.
I assume Mark is Brown. To be honest,
I assume AJ Brown. If it's AJ Brown, I take Brown in the second. If it's Hollywood Brown, I take Lamb.
There you go. Yeah, that sounds right. Hey, buddy. CMC and A-Rod for Waddle and Tua. 12-team Superflex.
I'll take Waddle and Tua.
Ooh.
It's probably the wrong answer, but I like Waddle and Tua, and especially, I know it makes no difference whatsoever, but give me that stack all day.
The value is on that side. The points, I think,
and the points are on the other side.
And CMC, and I'm taking the points, but
like I said, I really firmly believe that the CMC and Aaron Rodgers side is the right answer, but I don't.
But here's the thing: how's your team built? Because I will trade for points, but it's because I stock with value. So if I lose this because they get injured or CMC quits to start
super surprised
fish farm in Fiji, then I'm not dead. And that's what you need. You need extra value in a team.
Would you be super surprised if these two pairs of people scored close to each other in the end?
Yes,
I would.
I think Waddle and CMC are probably
healthy and on the
close.
field it's a big difference.
Yeah, but assuming CMC is going to play a full season at this point is
That's why it's
why is it crazy? It's he literally had a high ankle sprain. Like we're losing our minds over a high ankle sprain.
2 years.
Okay, so did Kamara, and then he came out and was running back one, like by 80 points over Derrick Henry. Like,
yeah, when he was 23.
It's a high ankle. No, he wasn't 23. It's a high ankle sprain. Like, we're losing our minds over a high ankle sprain. Like, it's
on
not
his third or fourth high ankle sprain.
Okay. It's literally like, is he going to step on someone's foot or not? I don't know, but he's good.
I'm just having fun. You know me, I don't like paying up for running backs. So
and that's fine. Like, I get that. But like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think the value side is definitely on your side on the Waddle and Tua, because Waddle's the most valuable piece.
Yeah.
The points are
Yeah,
probably on the other side.
No, I mean, value might just because Tua is very undervalued in my mind. He's very low valued, let's just say. So I do think the value might even be equal, if not on the vet side anyway.
Waddle's like wide receiver 6.
Yeah, 6 or 8, depending.
Ryan's confirming that it was AJ Brown, not Hollywood. You were right. So
yeah, so I'll go AJB in a second because they're next to each other pretty much.
Yep.
So give me a second.
Yeah, that's fine by me. Austin just traded Akers, Tony, and a 204 for Sutton and the 105.
I thought that would win.
The 105 thing.
Yeah. Yep.
Ethan, in a 10-person Superflex league, and I have 923 first.
Do what you got to do to get that last one.
He is gonna go for J Mike. I like it. I want to wait till I know the order before I trade any, but
I would trade
looks loaded
for that last one.
Yeah,
just go do it. Get it. Whatever it takes.
Complete it
just for the fun of it.
Yep.
See how many people quit when the draft rolls around. But yeah, I would. Starting team is Lamar, Justin Fields, Barkley, Carter, Slant Boy.
That's Michael Thomas to you, Peter.
Bateman, Andrews. What did you trade to get the picks? Yeah, you're fine. I don't know. There's no question here.
All of his young wide receivers.
Like, you
still got Bateman.
No, you got Bateman. I mean, you're fine. Not to mention Slant Boy. Yeah, you're fine. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
I'm trying to get to the end before, because I know we're past the time you all have to go Betty Bows. Michael Henry, back to that roster you read. What would you move picks to get the 101? I have the 104, the 105, the 110, the 210, the 208. It's 2 tight ends, 1 QB. You read my team. Right. That's the one I couldn't find the context for. So, Michael Henry.
That was the one that we were saying this is a really good team.
Yeah, we just tipped our cap to him.
Yeah. So what's he asking?
Should he package up his picks to go to the 101?
See if you can get it for the 105 and 110. You probably can't, but see.
This is one of these. What's the trade? I mean, always go get the great thing, but what's the trade? It's whether the trade is right. Because your team's solid. I wouldn't be desperate.
Yeah, I would throw the 105 and 110, and when they countered with the 104 and 110, I would take it.
Yeah.
And if they countered with the 104 and 105, then just say no and move on.
Yeah. And if they do, so if you do get up to the 101, then I would take whichever the 104 or the 105 and try to package one of my seconds and get up to either the 102 or the 103 in a 1 quarterback league. Because again, I really think there's a group of 3 players in a 1 quarterback league that I'm really interested in. So
yeah.
Way too many numbers flying around. You nuts.
7.
Keep up.
Yeah, sorry. We're the math guys. I apologize.
Is the 23 first and second enough to sell Godwin?
Yeah.
Close? Yes. Yes.
It value-wise, yeah. I wouldn't want to sell him just for picks, but that seems to be his value.
That's about right, I'd say. John, just traded the 210 for Tua and the 205. Yeah, I think that's solid. And if it's a super flex, I still have the 103 and the 107. Everyone's just got stacks and stacks of picks, I notice. which makes sense because I never have any. This is where they end
I
up.
don't have any now.
Julian, 12-team full PPR. Would you trade Akers and the 107 for CMC? I personally would. Russ would not because he's really worried about his ankles. Neither would John Hogue. This is about how risk averse you are to CMC, but the value's good here.
I would rather trade Akers for somebody young. I think you can this particular trade, you can get a younger running back in that same kind of stratosphere. I do.
I don't think there's anyone in that stratosphere for me is the problem. Like it's CMC, and then we start with other players. But I get it. If you can take Akers and the 107 and get a younger player who's going to be top 5 at least, yes, I get it. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. They didn't value the draft too far away. That's yeah.
Good for you.
That's part of what you keep talking about, Zach. It's you got to adjust to. We have to adjust to what their league might be in a vacuum, and like in degenerate leagues where they're already valuing 2024 picks like they're gold. We have different experiences.
It absolutely is. I mean, J Mike and I talked about that this week on the Dummies. It's you know, if you're in a league where it's a home league and everybody's not plugged in and you're listening to Matthew Berry, then Matthew Berry's giving great advice. The fantasy footballers are giving great advice. If your league is the next level down, then you got to start listening to Zach Reese, and you got to listen to Sean Siegel. You got to start late round quarterback. You got to start 0 RB. And if everybody's listening to that, then you got to find other margins. So.
I was reading your boat comment on Twitter, Russ. On the DLF Weekly Grind with PA Howdy and Tacit Assassin 13. And we've decided that all proven players shall be called boats. Should I trade this proven player for a draft pick?
And then I put the GIF from Family Guy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention that. Pretty good. What do you think of Michael Pittman's QB is going to be? Don't care. Trade him. Worried about him on my team. He said that, Zach. That was part of the comment.
In the fine print.
Yeah.
Should I be worried? Worried's relative. Yes.
I think regardless of who his QB is, I think he's a decent wide receiver too.
Yeah. It's going to end up being Garoppolo. Have fun. Yay. I don't really know.
Mariota instead of Garoppolo.
That could be too.
But I'm holding out hope for Mariota in Seattle.
Oh, I would like that.
I just like Mariota and I like Seattle, so.
No.
Yeah, seriously.
This trade show I realized the other week, though. I really kind of dig it.
Yeah.
Who are the players this week is there anyone this week that you've noticed that seem to be really good players to go out to target in trades because of the news and all the free agency that's dropped? Is there anyone standing out to you? Maybe that's a good way to go out. I don't know.
St. Brown is the one to me that nobody's talking about.
Because these questions this week. Yeah.
Go get Antonio Brown everywhere.
Antonio Brown? No, St. Brown.
He did it. You did the thing. I get it. Yeah, go get Ross St. Brown. If you can get him for second round value, that's kind of where I've been all along. And lately, this week, and in these questions, that's kind of value I'm seeing. I think that's really interesting. I'm a Ross St. Brown. I've been thinking Gibson since this free agency tampering period started. All of it. From the time J.D. McKissick was going away and then decided to come back, immediately I was like, normally I'm not interested in trading running backs. We've talked about that a lot, especially right now. I have no needs. I don't need to start running backs. And there's a gauntlet of stuff. But like people really think J.D. McKissick's going to affect a lot. I think J.D. McKissick's going to do what he did. And if people are down.
Which is affect a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he did affect a lot. He took a lot of receptions.
A lot.
I don't want to trade a first for him is the thing, but if I can make up the value of a first with a player and a second, I think if I could do that. That seems so low. Do you think anyone's going to do that with Gibson?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's the difference. I'm on Ross St. Brown. I think you could get that trade right now. My Gibson interest, I don't know a lot of leagues are going to suddenly devalue him, but
yeah.
Russ, anyone stand up?
And I think you would have been able to. Man, so this would have been a before. This would have been go get Gibson before McKissick left, and then McKissick left, and then everything would have been good. But that did none of that happened. So it's one of those where you gambled and the value went back up. But
Russ, anyone stand out to you with all the recent news or the comments
stand out to me
today? The questions.
Just
Trade gurus got
what
nothing
about
for it.
what about Trevor Lawrence? Are we thinking that because they stacked receivers that they're actually going to build an offensive line for him in the draft, and then we're going to move forward?
Yeah, I think
that could be a thing.
I like it.
I got increasingly worried about Trevor Lawrence through this entire thing. I was like, yeah, the Jaguars really don't seem like they've gotten it together. That was more mistakes. That's not good.
That's true, but if you're spending money on wide receivers and potentially, again, this draft class is stacked on the interior. There are offensive linemen and defensive linemen all for days. That's where this class is deep. That's where this class is deep. It doesn't help us, but
so much stuff that I can't really value. I'm increasingly worried about Lawrence. I really hope he beats the odds. But for me, the odds are against him right now. Lawrence or Fields? Ronnie asks.
I'm still on the Lawrence side of that, but not by much.
I'm starting on Fields. That's what I mean, but it's close. I don't have any yet, but Anthony Mika really liked Pierre Strong Jr. from the FSC as a deeper prospect. I haven't dug into him yet. Anyone else looked?
I got him. I got him at running back 11 in this class. I think he's got really good balance, especially with traffic at his feet. He's good at coming through a hole where there's a lot of traffic. He's got good vision inside. He often does a good job adjusting and picking the right hole that opens up. He's a smart runner. He doesn't make the same mistake twice. So, if he gets caught doing something, headed to the outside, bumping to the outside where he shouldn't have, the next play that runs to the outside, he's cutting upfield sooner. So he's not repeating mistakes. I like that. He's a crease runner. He gets small inside, which is something really nice. That's a trait that some of the better players that I've evaluated have. So Jonathan Taylor was a crease runner, but also Kareem Hunt, who is kind of a lower level. But a good runner, gets small inside. He's not great in the passing game, even though he caught a bunch of balls. He fights it a lot. He's a little bit small. He lacks a little bit of power, not a great goal line back, and sometimes lacks balance when cutting. And I don't mean he trips over his feet, but he doesn't always gather himself and go. Sometimes he gets a little overextended and loses balance on his cuts. But like I said, he's a top 12 back for me in this class. He's good. He ran well at the combine, was fast. Somebody's going to give him a roster spot, and then it's just kind of a matter of whether or not he can do that James Robinson thing where he is the small school player, South Dakota, that can earn carries.
It's funny. You used the phrase fighting catching the ball, and I'm just picturing the QB tossing a screen and just going no,
absolutely no, but that's what it is. It's
no.
Oh, I can answer this one. Brady's got a question. Best time to have a rookie draft right now. Whenever. No, I like it after the NFL draft because draft capital matters. But I am down to rookie draft whenever, all the way up to
process.
No, we're gonna have awesome sauce soon.
Yeah, but again, I don't think you have to have your rookie draft before the NFL draft. Because we're missing a whole bunch of information.
No, I'm not having one.
I'm not going to snob that. That's not but I love rookie drafts, and I will rookie draft whenever somebody says, "Hey, let's have a rookie draft." I love them. They're my favorite. Smiling's my favorite.
No. No. Anyone in particular this week I mean, it's a big news week that you think you are more likely to try and trade away on your teams. I honestly think Godwin and Mike Evans just looked into another high window, and I'll probably take it. JD, if someone's valuing DJ Chark out there all of a sudden again, like him, about it.
I don't know, man. Like, I don't think there was any signings that were bad. Like, to the players that mattered. Like, maybe, like, I think if, hold on, name of the team. Cleveland doesn't get Watson. Yeah, kind of sucks for Cooper. But I'm not, right now, I don't think you're getting a bump in his value to trade him away right now. So it's not like I'm trying to move him.
What do they do in Cleveland? Because you've alienated
You can't start Baker now.
You've alienated Mayfield, so you have to trade him. But nobody's going to give you value for him because they know you've got to trade him.
You screwed up.
And a lot of the backups you might bring in to hold for a year have been like Tyrod got signed, if I remember right. Like he would be decent. I mean, I don't know what they do. They seem to.
I don't think Tyrod would go back to. Well, maybe, but I don't think Tyrod would go back to that organization.
Get Ryan Fitzpatrick out of it.
Doesn't it put the pressure on them to get something done with Watson though? Don't you think?
Well,
like, he's almost got like all the leverage now.
That's why I think it's like they've got to be looking at like Garoppolo, and San Francisco could bring in Baker on still that like is Baker still on rookie deal or is he on his option? So again, now you've created some room. Yeah. So this is his fourth year. So you've still got a chance to
21 was his fourth year. 18, 19, 20.
So he's 21. On his fifth year option. So that's not as appealing, but it's still better than a full scale Garoppolo contract. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what you do. Maybe you try to trade him to Houston. I mean, but I think Houston's going to get a quarterback from whoever they ship Watson to. So
they're just going to go with Davis Mills and call it a day.
Is Chubb and Hunt suddenly less appealing on your rosters right now?
Nope, they're good.
That's true. They are both
better off. I mean, if Watson goes there, better offense is good for running backs. So,
yeah,
I do. I mean, I think they. Is it? I almost feel like it's less likely hearing you talk about this situation that Watson goes because it's like he's going to want to. He's going to want to force them into a position they don't want to be in. How's that?
The other player that I would be interested in buying because he's really cheap, and we've talked about him a lot on Twitter, but that's Jarvis Landry because I think that he ends up either in Atlanta. If Atlanta signs Watson, Landry goes there and becomes the Ridley option. That slot, bang, 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 and I like that. I would love to see him in New England. I know I've said that, and I'm a Pats fan, but I would love to see Landry.
Like Landry is my new ham sandwich player. He was on a decent buy low for points, and now he's ham sandwich. I would love Tim Patrick trade value. Let's go.
You know who said Landry to New England? Cynthia Freeland, who, no offense to you, Peter, is the smartest analytics person that I follow. Like, she's brilliant. And she was like, "Oh yeah, Landry would fit perfectly." And she laid out this whole thing. And I'm like, and now I'm back to my.
Need to do that. It's he would fit perfectly in New England because he's good and
everyone was like,
smart.
Yeah.
The end.
I'm not smart enough to make N'Keal Harry work. I'm just saying. It's a little bit.
I mean, but you would have had to move him into the slot where they had Edelman, who was better at the slot. Like that was the. But
Kendrick Bourne season. That's all I'm saying. Let's go, Kendrick Bourne.
It's that time.
All right, guys.
We got to look over there.